Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to the Sunday Bills, everybody. Looks like we got Tiffany already in. What's up, Tiff? It's a great Sunday. I've been able to sit at my bench all Sunday morning. I was supposed to go to. We got a sneaker. We got a sneaker coming in here. That must have been Justin shared that. Wait a minute. And there's the sneaker.
Hey,
world famous Rob Riv, how are you?
That's it.
I come in to collect my money from Frank Steffens. He knows he owes me.
This guy.
Now, I figured I was going to jump in before Jason gets in later because he's been busting my chops for whatever reason whatever 2 weeks because whenever they're doing their podcast. So I figured let me jump in now in this. That way, when he asks me to come on, whatever he asks me to come on, I can say, well, I was in the Bills room on Sunday. You didn't show up.
There you go. Right there. That's it. He's constantly sending out still waiting on Rob Riv to call me back. Well, I guess you didn't just call him. You showed up live on his show. Like, where were you when I was
right.
there?
So I'm here, and now I can't help you out now.
See there? You had your chance. Opportunity. You only get one time for opportunity. It passed you by.
Exactly. You snooze, you lose.
That's it. That's funny. Crazy Models. What's up, buddy? Got a video coming out from PamsCon. Should be coming up at 4 o'clock. You guys on the armor aircraft side, you might actually be interested in it because this time I went ahead and filmed all the armor and the aircraft, the sci-fi stuff. I filmed everything that was on the table at the IPMS show. So there might be some things in there that you guys are interested in.
Nice.
But what about anybody else? Anybody been to a show or anything happened this week that we missed out on? You want to share?
No, nothing exciting.
Nothing exciting. Nothing at work? You didn't beat anybody up this week, Frank?
No, but I did enjoy it's about 37 minutes of spring we had in New York, where it went from like late winter, and we had about a little bit more than a half an hour of spring, and then it went immediately to 90 degrees.
A little more than half an hour.
It's soupy hot out there right now. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The swamp ass index is at an 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to my world. Kevin Smith's in the house. Scale Effect. Rick Zink. What's up, Papa Z? Chet from Billboards. Chet, I got something to show you, bud. We'll get into it a little bit later, but definitely got something to show you. You'll be able to get off my back. It's good to see everybody in the chat. I guess we'll do the round table, and let's start with what are you working on, Tim Ryan?
Tim Ryan is working on that 59 Cadillac convertible that is not making me very happy at this point in life.
Oh, not happy at all.
Well, I tried that. Let me show you what it is, because it's Hasegawa, and it's called Mirror Finish. As you can see, it looks like a mirror.
Hang on just a second. Let me put you up on the big screen.
He's going to embiggen you.
I'm embiggening you.
See, it really is like a mirror finish.
Yeah.
So this caddy has these two big, long pieces of molding. So I did the bottom piece.
Oh, yeah.
And on this side, I did the bottom piece. Oh, this one's got the top, too. Yeah, there it is. Now you can see it.
Nice.
So this still needs to be clear-coated like an idiot. I painted it with enamel, not realizing it would take the rest of my life to dry.
Throw that enamel out. Get rid of it.
Well, I know. I didn't realize it was enamel. I got like 4 bottles of it, but it's a color I really like. It's
Gotcha.
Scale Finishes Lincoln 2G Red Moon Dust.
Nice. Scale Finish is good quality product. I hope you used your Outlaw.
It sounds like a club drug. It sounds like the name of a club drug. Oh, have you gotten any moon dust lately? Oh, I woke up in the hospital. Right.
Well, I built a modified and used that color.
But I put it up on the screen too, Rob.
Jason caught you.
Sorry, Tim. We cut you off. You used it on a modified as well?
Yeah, I did a modified. It was red with yellow frame and yellow numbers and everything. It come out really, really nice.
Nice.
and I gave it to somebody who I thought was a friend, but obviously is not. So
Oops. That's always
Uh-oh.
no fun.
no, so we'll have to build another one, but I got to get more of that paint. But I really like the color.
Well, be sure and use your Outlaw 10 discount code every time you call up Scale Finishes.
Yeah.
Save you 10%.
Well, you know what? How I ended up with that color to begin with was, he does that mystery box,
Yes.
and it was in the mystery box I got.
Tell me more about Mystery Box. I like mystery boxes.
Mystery box you get for like $90. You get all kind. I mean, it's like 13 or 14 bottles of paint,
Okay.
Yeah,
sanding sticks,
Nice.
just all kinds of neat stuff. And
yeah,
but it'll have everything from House of Colors, different types of House of Color stuff, a bunch of different mids,
Okay.
some primers, some base colors.
I mean,
and
it sounds
not-
worth the money. Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely, if you added it up, it's like $150 for the whole set.
Yeah.
You bought it
Oh, yeah.
individually.
it's
I am
worth it all day
definitely,
long.
I'm definitely the kind of guy that likes to go, oh, I don't know what I'm going to get. Okay.
Yeah.
Our friend Jeff Hearn, who used to do scale 3D printed tracks, recently sold to Squadron. One Christmas time, he was running a deal, like a Christmas special where you buy 3 sets of tracks. You don't know what you're getting.
Oh wow,
I was like, hell yeah, I'm in on that. And then I'll pick the project I get with whatever tracks show up at my door.
Right.
that's cool. The problem with the mystery box of Scale Finishes, I got one of the boxes I got had this it's almost the color of my Forerunner. It's a metallic gray,
Okay.
and I love the color. But on the bottle, it just says mystery color.
Yeah.
So I can't even order more because it says mystery
You
color.
don't know what the
Yeah.
hell it actually
You don't know what it is. I got
He
like
doesn't
6
know.
bottles like that.
It's a mystery.
And Tiffany corrected me, and she's absolutely right. It's not $90 for a master box; it's $75.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And he doesn't-
it's well worth it.
There's a YouTube channel, Feedens Garage, I think it is, guy from Arizona, and he always Pheedens, something like that.
Yeah.
He seems to be a really nice guy. I like his videos. Does a lot of unboxing stuff, which I like. But every year he uses Scale Finishes, and every year around Christmas time, he does a special that if you use his code Feedens10, you get the mystery box with the 10% off, and then you get free shipping, and then you get like 2 extra bottles of paint because you used his code.
Oh wow!
Nice.
He's got a
Yeah.
deal going on with him. Chat's blowing up. We're trying to keep up. Hey James, how you doing, buddy? Obviously Tiff, Billboard, Kevin Smith.
Rob
Yeah,
Ribb is redacted.
Yeah, he's
I was gonna
redacted.
say,
I don't know if he
Rob
shut
Ribb
off his
already?
camera. I don't know. He headed out. He must either
He
lost.
ditched. He just
either
wanted
lost
to come
it-
break balls.
That's exactly
He
right.
absconded.
He's like them bus balls. He leaves like he comes in, just out of the blue.
He went to
No,
go
he-
see
he comes
Agatha.
in-
Well, he's
comes
back though. He's
barreling
back.
in.
He's back. Oh, well, he was back. Oh, there he is.
No, I'm back. No, my browser thing got all messed up, so I had to fix it.
Oh, there he
Rob,
is.
would you go see Agatha?
Agatha, what?
You went to go see Agatha? Agatha, fuck out of here.
Are you allowed to curse on this? I thought there was no
I am.
cursing.
I just did. I didn't. Nobody hit me.
Hey, listen, last time I was on here and I started cursing, some guy kept getting offended. He's like, "Do we need to curse?" I'm like, "Listen, buddy, that's how I talk."
Do you see that guy?
Yeah.
I don't
idea.
listen. I don't know. Listen, I'm coming on here to just cause some trouble for a few minutes and give Frank you a hard time, considering you owe me money. You know what happens when you owe money. You know, us Long Island guys, we got to stick together. You're hanging out with these Southern guys. You're hanging out with fucking Outlaw over here.
Listen, it's my job to bring the cost of living down. And that's
I don't
what
know who
do
this
all
Tim guy.
over.
Who's this Tim guy over here? Did you ever meet Tim before?
I don't
No,
think
you
I've
haven't.
met Tim.
Sure.
Tim is
He's a
an
big fan of
amazing-
yours, though.
He's definitely a fan of the Rob Ribb show.
Me?
Rob
I-
Ribb.
Me? What the hell did I do? How does I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I don't know you. We've never met personally, but Jason had said to me one time, "Listen, you got to listen to this podcast." He goes, "It's military stuff, but you got to." He goes, "They're all good guys and everything. So you got to listen to it." So when I started listening to it, you guys were on like episode 19 or 20 or something like that.
Right.
So I started from the beginning, and every Saturday I go to breakfast by myself. It's about an hour round trip. So every Saturday I get in the car and I listen to every episode to the point now I'm caught up.
Oh,
So,
awesome. Yeah. I'm sorry you got to listen to Justin. You know, he's one of the.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
so everybody, tell everybody, and I say it on this show every week too. So listen, go listen to those guys. They're a lot of
All right.
fun. You can learn a lot from, even though they do military and we're all car guys. It's
Right.
still the hobby, and you still learn stuff. I just find your show very enjoyable, and I really like it. So
No, Tim, I
promote it all I
appreciate that,
can.
man. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Listen, it's good. The podcast is doing great. I was just a guest on the Model Geeks, their last episode, 103, which is pretty good. Yeah, man, we're gonna start doing some live casts. We did
I watched the test run yesterday.
we did the test run last. I was like, Frankie, we got to try this out. I go, Outlaw's screwing us. He ain't around tonight. I forgot that he was at a show.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give it a test run, and I was like, "Holy shit! It's up on YouTube right now." I was like, I said it was some funny things we said. I said, you know what? I'll keep it up here and see how it does. And like 100 people watched it, like right after it fucking came on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna start. We're gonna start doing some Thursday night live cast shows or whatever, or Thursday or Sunday. We got to see what day works the best. But try to like rotate it. Now, I'm not going to be on him all the time. I'm on everything, so I'll let Justin get on. Justin's got a lot going on here.
Yeah,
so we're not going to let him commit to anything, because he lets me down a lot lately. So I don't want to. I got very low standards for Justin right now. You know what they say is when you have very low expectations of somebody, when they let you down, it doesn't really bother you that much.
Right.
Keep your expectations low and you're never disappointed.
Frankie. This is why me and you we get along really well, because we're fellow Long Islanders here. That considering you're originally from Queens, right?
Yes, sir.
But you live on the island now.
I do.
This is why we get along.
Under duress.
You got a really funny accent though, Frank. I'll tell you that. You got a funny accent. I can't. You know what? You're on every Sunday. I don't know how these people who are watching right now can listen to you talk for a few minutes. It's a very insulting accent you got.
They're very gracious. They put up with me.
I'm only kidding. No, but the podcast going good. We actually filmed a freaking episode. I'll tell the story. We'll make people laugh, and I don't care. We'll put it out there. So we just recorded a week ago. Me, Justin, Frankie, Steve, and Rob Adams, and we have one of our friends, the guys that we know on the show. He came on the show fucking hammered.
Him and Adams must have done well.
No, Adams.
No.
Believe it or not, Adams. I thought we were gonna. The world was gonna end that night because Rob Adams was actually sober, which is very rare. It's like the Hale Bopp comment. I thought like some cult was gonna kill themselves in their fucking jumpsuits and Nike somewhere.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So anyway. We're recording this we're recording the show, which was actually going pretty good. And fucking guy can't even respond to a basic sentence, right, Justin?
Right.
And then like 2/3 the way through the podcast, he leaves and doesn't come back.
unbelievable.
So I got a podcast that's actually not terrible, but I got to think about either A, releasing it in its form that it's in, or try to edit him out, try to totally act as if he never was there.
Yeah,
that's a lot of editing. Right?
Yeah.
So
it's more fun to leave him in and then watch the defecation hit the rotisserie device.
It's fun. It's fun. You know what? The reason why that insanity works compared to everybody's podcast works, but the reason why our podcast is the way it is that I leave all the buffoonery in there. We talk serious. I tell a Riv rant. We talk about the hobby. We have fun. It's not scripted. And just like we do in a build room like this, so we do let's say, if we're sitting around just talking at the bar, that's how we like the show to be. We don't want it to be sugar coated. We don't want curse words in there. We can't make this, can't say this. No. Whatever, if it's not gratuitously bad, it's staying in the podcast. And, that's one of the reasons why I like to, keep things on a level. And it works. Some people love it. And trust me, there's some people who don't like it. But
yeah.
I
they
like
still
that.
Tune in.
Yeah.
Listen, I like that. I like being edgy where some people might not want to listen. Or listen, if you're going to get offended by someone dropping an F-bomb in today's day, 2025, then you got other problems you got to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I mean, if you're gonna, what did someone say early on in the podcast? There was and we got pretty good reviews on a lot of the podcast hosting sites, but there was one negative review, and they're like, all it is that the host all he does is degrade and belittle his co-host the whole show.
Perfect. That's exactly what they do.
Listen, that's what friends do.
Right. I mean, the thing is, I mean, you should hear the shit they say about me. I mean, I get my ass ripped. They rip me apart.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
I can't believe that they would do something like that.
Yeah,
Why?
but that's what we do. It's fun, and listen, maybe one day we'll get Tim on. We'll get you on, Tim. We'll get freaking Mike on. Well, Frank Steffens. That's different. We got to
That's
think
a whole
about
nother show.
that.
That's a whole nother show by itself.
Nah, you don't want that guy on. None
Listen,
of the
we
other
already did a
podcasts
car
have me on.
show. Listen, we had. Does Luca watch this?
Yeah, on
Sometimes.
occasion he comes in. Yeah.
All right, we had Matt on here, Lucas C on my show. We had Luca on, and we had Jason on. And there's a reason why it's my lowest rated show out of all of them.
I don't know if you know or not, but I also build arm and I also build planes. I actually place more with planes than I do with cars. But that's cool. It didn't hurt my feelings at all, Rob.
Frank, I'm going to tell you right now. Listen to me. Let's be a friend.
We're fine.
Listen, Frank, we've become friends now, and I can tell you this all honesty. Stick to the cars. You do good with the cars. The planes, that's not your. That's you're very like pedestrian in the car with the planes. and stuff. Stick to the cars. You do better. Nah, I'm only kidding, Frank. I know you started out with the planes.
Liars.
Yeah.
Liars.
Well, Rob, I'm listening to the show, listening to you guys. Again, I find it very entertaining and enjoyable. I like it, and it's almost like this thing. It just sounds like friends sitting around shooting the shit, which is what you want.
Tim, where you from? Where do you live?
Just outside of Boston.
I was gonna say you kind of got a Northeast accent. We'll get along.
Yeah.
I like Boston. Boston, Long Island, Boston. We're like got like a symbiotic relationship.
I love their cream pies.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
Well,
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Gobble them right up, don't you?
I bet you do, Justin.
Guys,
Nothing surprises me more than to hear that.
What did I say? So I said to Justin before. I said, "Listen, I don't like just jumping in because this is your guys' thing. I just felt like it'd be funny to jump in because I said to Justin, he goes, "Listen, Jason's not going to be on at the beginning of the show." I said, "Well, Jason's been busted. He always writes these posts about not coming on the podcast or whatever." So I was like, how funny would it be if I jumped in and Jason wasn't here and I leave before he gets on?
He's slaying dragons now.
So you got to give me a heads up when he's in the studio, and that's my cue to leave.
Well, I can't. He's admin, so he can come in unannounced and go straight to the camera.
well, you see him pop in, just pop out. That's all.
Yeah, I'll make sure I time it. At least we'll try.
Listen,
No,
I like the show so much that I went out and I bought a model tank that I'm going to jump into the turkey shoot this year.
We gotta get you. Justin, did you send Tim some stuff, stickers, any?
Not yet. Not yet.
What do you mean? You just met him, and I've known you guys for over a year now.
I thought they say, "Oh no,
Please
time out! Don't put me on the spot, buddy. Listen to me. I'm not in charge of that stuff now. Listen. I do a lot. Justin, what I said to Rob Adams today. We were talking about like our duties when it comes to the show or responsibilities. I fucking record, I edit, I do a lot of shit. All these guys got to do is show up and talk on a show for an hour or two. I got to make them sound good. I got to promote the show. I got to do all the stuff. At least they can do is mail out a sticker or a shirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, Rob, I don't know what gave you the idea that you're allowed to curse on this show. We don't do that.
Well, you know what? I don't see the chat,
that?
so I'm sure there's got to be that one guy's got to be on here complaining about the curse.
No,
well,
the only thing that we've
you're
got
always
is
gonna have-
one guy going, "I'm offended if you don't cuss."
Oh,
But
yeah.
I do want
gonna
to
have-
bring it back around, and we talked about Tim's building. Justin, what you got on the table this week?
I am working on my second entry to the Jason Hanscom Blue Ox Street Machine build.
Sweet.
The first one being that street truck that is going to take a lot of work, so I wanted to do a quick build for that thing.
All right.
And this
You're
one
also
is
breeding glasses.
Yes. Let me take that off so Frank doesn't get offended. The 57 Chevy Revell. Look, my camera's trying to see my face. Revell 57 Chevy. Started by prepping the body, and right now I'm just throwing together the chassis.
Sweet. All right. Well, we're on a roll. We're like butter. We're on a roll. What about you, Frank? What you got on the table today? What you working on?
I'm up to this point on my 68 Charger.
Hang on. Let's make you big.
And big in him.
Look at that.
Look at Frank.
So
Looking
I
sharp.
got the
Shit.
Resto Mod versions of the Bullet Charger wheels on there. Always keep in mind when I do come back with the channel, if you're building any of the Revell Chargers, the 68, the 69, the Daytona, if you build it right out of the box, it's going to put your rear tires back in the wheel well. You're going to have to remove the bosses. I would take off the shackles for the leaf springs and then just redo everything. You're going to need to move the rear end forward in the wheel wells in order to get the right placement. So just keep that in mind. There'll be more when I decide to come back, when I'm over my little tantrum.
Yeah, I heard about that, Frank. You gotta, Frank. Listen to me, Frank. You gotta stop the little. You're acting a little crazy now.
With the hissy fits.
Come on,
But
now.
you know my temper. My problem
Listen,
is if
Frank,
I stick around.
I understand you got a little bit of a temper, but you need to, come on now. You got to be better than that.
I lose my temper. People lose teeth.
Oh, all of a sudden now you go, look at this fucking guy. Listen,
What about you, Riv? I know
Where you
Riv.
at, Ron Con? Come on, I have to come out there and fucking have a talk with you. What am I doing?
Yeah, what you got? You got anything on the table as a surprise guest? You're welcome to share. If you don't have anything, that's perfectly fine.
I have
as
a
well.
couple of things. Well, I'm building one, but I just finished building this. I just posted it. This is a fully 3D printed KV4 from Resin Tech Models. He just released it. This was a prototype model. It's entirely 3D printed.
Wow.
I redid a bunch of stuff on it. There's going to be a full build article of this in Military Model Craft in the next issue. So that's what I just finished building within the last few days. And then I'm actually building a 140. Everybody, I also do another podcast, Tim. I don't know if you're aware of it, but I do the Quarter Scale Madness. So
Oh,
I'm
no.
doing a 148 scale Yag Tiger, which is like a King Tiger from Tamiya. But what I'm doing is I cut the suspension off of it because I'm building it as there's two types of suspension. So I'm doing what they call the Porsche suspension. So this is a conversion kit. So I'm converting it to the Porsche suspension. A lot of work, but it's fun. I'm doing all the photo etch on it, doing all the Zimmer, which was the anti-magnetic paste that was on tanks. So that's like the big kit. That's the big project that I got going on right now. This is going to be like what we call an intermittent project. I'm going to work on it a little bit at a time, maybe work on some other things, and then come back to this. But that's what I'm doing right now.
Sweet.
Jesus Christ, Riv, save some charisma for the rest of us.
Charisma, what are you talking about?
I'm in this scale. I'm in that scale.
Listen,
I'm
man,
Taking
you
this
got to
magazine,
represent
I'm
here.
doing this podcast. Listen to it.
Holy
Listen,
shit.
listen, I was just telling Justin, I said to Justin, and I said, listen, Insanity, we're always looking to expand the brand. And we had talks about, we do, obviously, the main podcast is the Model Insanity. And then I have the Insanity Presents the Quarter Scale Madness that I do with two other guys that's just focused on quarter scale armor and aircraft, stuff like that, which is like 48 scale. And then we said we wanted to maybe do, who did we lose? We lost Tim with Tim Lee.
Yeah, I think it's internet. I'm waiting for him to pop
We
back
were
in.
we
His internet's
were
probably messing up.
discussing. I don't know if we can talk about it, but we were discussing the possibility of doing a third podcast under the Insanity brand, but would not have me having anything to do with it except my blessing, and that would be a car podcast to talk about cars. But we don't want to step on our friends' toes, because they got a good thing going on. So that's the only thing. The only thing would be if we incorporated some of those guys into our podcast too a little bit, if we wanted to do it. So
I think, it's the same way with having multiple channels and whatnot. I think there's enough, as long as you don't, in my opinion, as long as you don't put it on the same time or release it the same time somebody's releasing theirs, I believe there's room for plenty because people are constantly looking for something to get into, something to listen to. And
Right.
I
The
think
whole
there's room
idea
Quarter
for
was-
scale, Rob.
Oh,
What is-
dude,
what
hang
that-
on,
what-
hang on. Let me get him up there where you can see him.
Is that quarter scale, Frank?
Yes, sir.
Look at this guy. Why are you pissing in my Cheerios, man?
I was
Go
just going
ahead,
to say,
though.
why is he wasting
You
his
should
time with
You should totally start that car podcast, Riff. Right on that.
cars?
Me, I'm not going to be on the car podcast. I don't know nothing about cars.
Oh yeah, all quarter scale. Check me out.
You did a fantastic job, Frank.
Thank you.
For
Thank
you.
you very
For
much.
you.
For you.
you.
I knew
For you,
that was
Frank.
coming.
Yo.
You know, Frank, like I said, you appreciate people's skill level, and you're definitely between that beginner intermediate skill level.
Thank you. I
Shit.
appreciate that.
No,
I'm
Frank,
really bored.
him, but he's
That is,
back.
Frank, I appreciate that. That's a nice little diorama right there. That really is nice.
It was
We lost him, but
it took
Tim's made
best,
it back, so that's cool.
it
Welcome
took
back,
best
Tim. You got an
diorama
internet
at
problem?
Yeah, I don't know what
Replicon.
happened.
Where at?
It took best diorama at Replicon. It was an off year. You know, it was like the first year back from the pandemic.
Was that this past year?
No, 22 or 23.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm the head
Yeah, it
judge
was
at that.
slow year.
I'm the head judge at that show, so I must have fucking totally been on drugs that show.
Thanks, Rob. I love
I'm
you so
only
much.
kidding. I don't. You know what? All the years freaking blend together right now. But that is really nice. That is nice.
It was a year that obviously Cran Morgan didn't show up, so he
Don't
didn't
even
have
get me
anything in
started.
it.
Don't get.
So to
don't-
quote my
you
good
listen to
friend
this? I don't
BB,
know.
I hear you guys quietly asking, Mike, what have you been working on? Well, chat here.
Oh,
comes,
Mike, what are
buddy.
you working on, Mike?
In between the New York guys talking, I can hear you guys asking, Mike, what'd you get? Almost get it done. Chat, here it comes, buddy. I've been working on that early 70s Petty short track car that I took to PamsCon this past weekend. And I'm going to go ahead and I got a little something going on here for you guys to be able to see it. And boom, there it is with her silver medal that I took home with it.
Look at that.
Nice.
So was fortunate enough to get that done, take it down there, do some vending with MCV.
Oh, that's great. There was
And,
one like that. There was one just like that, kind of, sort of, at Mosquito Con this year.
I'm sure it's a kit. The only thing I really changed was the tires, and I put a VCG motor in it. Other than that, it's pretty much right out of the box. I did cut out the grill and put in some screen mesh in the grill, which was relatively simple. No bare metal foil. The chrome is all the Molotov with 50-50 mix with alcohol and sprayed through a 3.8 airbrush. The paint is Scale Finishes Petty Blue, and there's a lot of it on there.
airbrush. Jesus Christ, that's a cannon.
No, 3.0. No, it's point. I'm sorry, 0.38. Not the
Like I
0.3.
say,
not-
3.8 is like the opening of my coffee cup.
No, it's not. I use a smaller brush for the chrome because it shoots through pretty good. But got that one done. Was happy to get that one behind us and get it done. Like I said, took silver with it. Was really proud of that. The trunk deck comes off as well. We got some detail in there. Took the hood off so you can see that VCG motor as well. But now I will be working on. Let me put that thing behind. Removed from the stage. All right, now it's us. We lost somebody again. Nope, we're all here. But anyway, was real happy with that one. Had a good time, and I got it behind us. But now I'm going to go to work on combination of finishing up my USAC build, and I've been whittling on my side piece is the Pro Stock every freaking thing. Or every effing thing. I'll have that one. Been working on that one as well. So, but Chet, that was for you, buddy. I know you've been asking for it. It was supposed to be done at the beginning of or the end of May, but it finally got done now. And me and Jason Hanscom will be doing a video soon and starting up this year's Saturday night short track build. So whenever Jason and I can get our stuff together, we'll make a video and we'll start that up. But good times for sure, man. Finally got it done.
Somebody was asking in the chat why they call quarter scale, and it's confusing. It's why it's not a very commonly used term anymore.
Right.
For example, 1 inch scale would be 1/12 scale, where 1 inch equals 1 foot.
Right.
1 half inch scale would be 1/24 scale, because 1 inch equals 2 feet. 3/8. Now this is where it starts getting stupid.
This is where the math gets involved.
3/8 scale would be 1/32 scale, I believe.
Right.
Because that would be 3/8 of an inch equals 1 foot, and quarter scale would be 1/4 inch equals 1 foot on the real model. It's just
Right.
it's a convoluted way of doing it. It's antiquated. They don't really do it anymore because it requires mental calculations that are generally unnecessary in the modern. Huh?
What are you trying to say?
Nothing personal.
I don't know what he's
Listen, I'm saying I'm going to use that.
All right, so hold on a minute. So the thing is saying 1/4. Okay, so we call quarter scale, but it is 1/48 scale, right? 1/48 scale is a quarter scale, but there are other quarter scales. You can just extrapolate it up. But like, how fun would it be if we called it the 1/48 scale podcast? It wouldn't be fun. Look at the logo of the quarter scale madness, and there's a freaking thing that says 1/48 scale. No.
I make no judgment. Somebody asked a question and I was answering it.
It's actually a very good question, and it's a
That's
question
why I
that I've
answered it.
asked, and it's a question that I've asked before. Like, what the fuck does quarter scale mean?
Well, I think Kevin Smith, you guys can see up on the screen, I think Kevin Smith hit the nail on the head. He says Mikey is quarter scale. That's probably pretty close.
He's such a treasure. Kevin's such a treasure.
Kevin, he's always got such nice things to say. Such a positive part of the community.
Hey, Rob, I got a question for you.
Sure,
shit.
what's up?
So you're really, you do a lot of the military stuff. Why is it a lot of the vehicles in military are all 1/35th scale? Is there a reason why they don't make them 1/24th or 25th?
Fucking Tamiya.
There are some kits that are 24th for some companies, but not a lot. It's very rare. And believe it or not, 1/35th, and Frank will agree with this too, is that 1/35th scale is an off scale. It doesn't go with the whole 12 scale, 24th scale, 32nd scale,
Right.
48 scale, so on and 16 scale, whatever. 35th scale was a armor scale created by Tamiya back like in the early 70s, Frank?
Early 70s, so that the tanks could be motorized.
So the tanks could be motorized. And so they started a Monogram, Revell, they all did 32nd. And then Tamiya came on the scene and started doing 35th motorized plastic models. And then that's how it took off. Tamiya stuck with 35th. Other companies came along, Italeri, you name it. They all started making 35th scale models. Dragging the old what's the not Shang, the older Dragon kits and stuff. They were all
DML.
35th. Right, DML and those kits were all 35th scale. And then that's how 1/35th scale took off, was from Tamiya.
Yeah. There's a lot of military vehicles I really would love to build. I bought one and it's 35th scale. And it looks like an old cab over oil truck. And the cab could fit in the palm of my hands about 4 times over.
Yeah.
My eyesight, I'm diabetic, so my eyesight's not great. So I'd love to build it. I can't. Even with magnifiers, I have a hard time seeing the pieces. I would love to see them.
You look great from here, Tim.
Yeah. Well,
Tim, you should get into braille scale.
Right, but
Yeah.
the main scales for armor is 72nd, 48, 35th, and 16th. That's the main scales for armor. You know, I know in cars, what is it? It's 12th, 24th, right?
Yeah.
16 and 24.
Yeah. Yeah, and 25th, a lot of them are 25th too.
25th scale.
Yeah.
Listen, it's all, you know, if anybody's familiar with Verlinden came out with a lot of upgrade stuff, and it was all like a lot of their stuff, which was meant for 35th scale, was still more geared towards 32nd scale. Like,
Did you ever hear what Seamus called Verlinden?
What?
Rob? That Belgian pimp.
Dude, Verlinden's still around. The guy's still kicking.
Really?
Yeah. You know, unfortunately, a lot of his stuff, people bought a lot of his molds, and a lot of his freaking stuff when he closed shop, got thrown in dumpsters, man. His whole master.
that gatehouse is Valinden.
Yeah, Linden was the back in the in the late
80s and 90s, yeah. Valinden, Letterman, and Stock. Bob Letterman.
Bob Letterman, the VLS, yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Letterman and then Warriors and all that stuff. Warriors is kind of back a little bit, but this, there's a lot of companies now. It's not like back in the day where it was just like a niche amount of companies. Now there's so many like third-party companies around, especially 3D printing. 3D printing has changed everything for the good and for the bad. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
I take a lot of shit about the 3D printing stuff, but
on the car side, it's giving us a lot of the things we never had any chance of seeing in scale. Like with cars, it's one thing. Arma is going to have. There's only so many tanks out there. It's not like they were mass produced or that there was variation like a car market.
Right.
You had variations of T-34s and Panzer IVs and all of these things where you have enough to keep yourself occupied for decades. But you have in a car, most of us didn't grow up in a Corvette. We grew up in a four-door, like in a station
Chevette.
or a Chevette, a compact car. Yeah, exactly. And in a lot of cases, people want for the sake of that nostalgia, they want to build something from their own personal history.
Yeah.
And the market, the model kit manufacturers have to base, because of the price of tooling, they have to base, and the price of licensing, they have to base their market decisions and their tooling decisions on what's going to sell the most. So generally, sports cars, up optioned, whereas most of us grew up in middle to low optioned, bare bones, regular vehicles.
Never going to see an 85 Ford Tempo kit.
Right. But you will one day probably be able to download it as a file and print it yourself and do that, which is why 3D printing is making such a big splash in this segment of the hobby.
Like I said, this kit over here, this KV4, like there's no plastic kits of that model. And what's great is it's got all this. Here, let me get this thing again. You'll appreciate this, Frank. This,
Mike, make them big.
The sprocket fell off here, but that's all right. Fenders, they're all flexible 3D. It's black. This isn't glued together. I'm going to start dropping shit. All flexible 3D. So it's all flexible. Like they're glued on the side now, but I've never seen anything like that with the flexible 3D printing stuff. And in my opinion, it's got no layer lines at all. None. And it's amazing how there's no layer lines. I think that's the way of the future when it comes to 3D printing. Like I don't mind 3D print. I just hate cleaning up the layer lines. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Well, layer lines are they're an artifact of layer height. So if you reduce the layer height, you have to calibrate the resin in order for it to print well, and then you also have to use a measurement called arctangent. So based upon the size of the dimensions of your build plate, you would position the part at a particular angle, at an optimum angle for that build plate, and taking into account the voxels. It's all math shit that, I'm just better off looking it up and plugging it in. Like you can look it up and just plug it in. For my printer, the optimum.
I don't know anything about 3D printing. Like I rudimentary shit, just enough to get.
Yeah, you can get rid of. There's no layer lines in this wheel. There's none.
Okay.
Blow me up, Mike.
Hang on, I'm sorry. I was working.
Make Frank big.
I'm making Frankie big.
And big and Frank.
So there's no layer lines. There's no telltale layer lines in this.
Awesome.
And that's a product of calibrating your resin properly and finding the optimal print angles and stuff and also support placement. If you got to place the supports in a place where they're not going to be seen, and you also have to use settings that when you separate them, you're not leaving a pimple behind that's going to have to be filled in. So
Right.
you can do that, and it's just a matter of dialing it in, taking notes, and keeping records of what works. This way, it's repeatable.
You got to start printing shit out for me, Frank. You could be my.
What do you want?
Printer.
You want him
Let
to
me know.
print you a Nash Metropolitan?
I can vouch for Frankie in that he sent me full kits, chassis. His 3D printer work is absolutely amazing.
Here come the fucking emails. Great. How come you print for him and not for me?
You don't want the answer to that question.
Yeah. The same thing just happened recently with the Mod Top decals, because one of the best modelers in model car building, Marcos Cruz, made a 1970 Hemi Cuda using the decals for the Mod Tops that I did, and a lot of emails. My channel's on hiatus. I'm not even producing. These are people that have bothered me before. Well, how come you never sent them to me? I don't know
who
you.
the fuck you are.
I don't know you. Who are you? I don't owe you anything. Well, I subscribe to your channel. Yeah. My wife subscribes to my channel. I'm not going to make her decals.
That's it.
She doesn't get Mod Top decals. She gets to walk around with all of this.
Right, she gets all that sexiness under
This
her arm.
arm candy.
That arm candy, exactly right.
Jesus Christ.
I tell mine the same thing. I said, you get all this. You get all of this for 15 minutes a day until you start feeling sick.
I tell my wife all the time, honey, when you saw me, what made you go? I just got to have that. You might want to rethink that.
Are you wearing surgical scrubs, Tim?
I actually positively am.
I love
Are
you
they as
so
comfortable
much.
as they say?
I love you so much.
Well,
You're the best.
here's the story behind the scrubs. During COVID, I got very sick and I had to have emergency surgery. So when they came and took me by ambulance from the house, all I had was what I had on. And so after a couple of days of being in the hospital, I was pretty ripe. So my wife couldn't bring me anything. Nobody could come in or out or anything. I had nothing to wear. So I said to the nurse, I said, the part of the problem was I had the medication they gave me. When I had to pee, it wasn't, okay, you got a minute to get to the bathroom. It was like, you're peeing now. So after a couple of days, I was pretty ripe. So I was in a private room that actually had a shower. So one of the nurses brought me in some scrubs, pants, shirt, underwear, and let me shower. So I felt better. So they have this thing in the hospital called universal underwear. And if any of you guys know a nurse, ask her, she'll tell you.
That sounds comfortable.
No, it's not. It's
Sounds
universal
hot.
underwear is made to fit men and women. So in the front, it's like a cheap motel. There's no ballroom. And they're not comfortable at all.
No ballroom.
So anyway, the shirt was very comfortable. And when I came home from the hospital, I was wearing it around the house because they had to cut me open and it's baggy and light and all that stuff. I liked it so much, I went online, I bought more. So I just, in the summertime, I just wear them around the house because there's nothing to them. They're light and they're, especially like now where it's 95 out with 100% humidity. So days like today, I like to wear them around the house.
I need paint thinner, stat.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Exacto knives right away, nurse.
Stat.
Yeah. Stat, yeah.
Code blue, modeling room.
Code blue, modeling room.
Yeah.
Code blue, modeling room.
Code blue.
Yeah.
Code brown,
Tim's pants.
modeling suite.
Yeah. I threw the pants away and the universal underwear got tossed, but I like the shirts.
Tim changed the angle of his camera because him and Jason, because they're New England aristocrats,
Yeah.
they model with their pinkies out like this, like gentlemen. They actually have windows in their modeling room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Highfalutin.
They're high-end guys over here.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Jason, honey, been here. Fetch me a fama.
Lovey. Oh, Lovey.
Lovely. Well, everybody
Well,
knows
I heard-
everybody knows my my infatuation with Mrs. Howell. So let's
Oh,
not get
Yeah,
into that.
what the hell does that come
we
from?
talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
Talk to me about that
definitely
trauma,
did.
Rob. What
What?
happened to
Oh
you?
no, we're gonna do it over here on an open build room. I'm gonna talk about Mrs. Howell. The Mrs. Howell story. All right.
You're getting new listeners from the chat, Rob. Tell the story.
All right. So, back when we did the Miscreant podcast, I was on the precursor to the Insanity was a podcast called the Modeling Insanity podcast. The
Modeling Miscreants.
Miscreant podcast.
Okay.
And you got a snippet of that when we did our live shows at AMPS Nationals when I had Mike Sacklin on with me, Mikey Sacks. And at the end of that show, the first part of the live show, I did a bunch of outtakes from the Miscreants. So you heard how funny it was. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And on what Jeff Hearn used to do, it was myself, Jeff Hearn, Mike Sacklin, and then Santucci came on at some point. Because again, I got to bring fucking Santucci everywhere I go. The show was getting ready. We were getting ready to start a show, and I was looking at my phone, and I didn't realize Hearn always would be recording from the minute we got in the room, because I would always say stupid shit that he would want to put in like an outtake or something. So I'm like looking at something, and they're like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, "I'm looking at Mrs. Howell." I go, "She was fucking hot, man." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Mrs. Howell was hot as hell." I go, "I'm looking at her when she's wearing her negligee." I was like, if I was on
Where
that
were you
island,
seeing this?
what happened?
Where were you seeing Mrs. Howell in the negligee?
I was looking at like face. I was looking at something.
I was looking through her window.
So Mrs. Howell. So I go,
Mrs. Howell appeared in negligee in the back of my eyelids.
listen, I go, you give me, if I had a choice, you give me Ginger, you give me Marianne in a little skimpy freaking shorts or whatever. I'm taking Mrs. Howell every time.
All right. Now we need to what trauma caused this?
Ginger's just pretty, but she's gonna be like whatever. I go,
High
Marianne, she's a tease. But Mrs. Howell, she's probably on that freaking hammock. She's probably a fucking minx over there. It was hysterical. And it went a little further than that I'm not going to say on here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it was funny. And it was a funny, and the Mrs. Howell, the legend of the Mrs. Howell story continued for a long time after the Miscreants. Because it was just funny, man.
Tell me the truth and don't lie or I'll know. Did you have a teacher that looked like Mrs. Howell? You did.
No.
As soon as you went like this, you went.
No, I don't know. I don't remember. I can tell you, I always like everybody knows. I love older women. Older women's like the best thing, man. Like I'm old now, getting old. So you know it's a little different. But when you're like when you were younger, like I didn't want it. I like the older ladies was the better. I like that better, So
I agree. I'm right there with you.
Oh, Alice from the Brady Bunch. Oh, Alice from the.
Hold on, I that's dude. I even said, I go, Alice was hot too, man. I'll take Alice in the back of the laundry room in the Brady house. I'll teach her a lesson.
I'll kick Sam the Butcher's ass.
You'd be Sam the Butcher.
The crazy thing is what's the name that played Alice? She was like 39 years old when that show started.
Isn't that amazing? You look at the ages, like the guy that played Boss Hogg on Dukes of Hazzard was like, he was younger than all of us when he played Boy. He was like, he wasn't even 50
Brooks,
yet.
yeah. And he was a huge stage actor.
Dude,
He was.
And I mean, but yeah, so you're looking at that stuff and it's like, like funny stories. Like there was so many, like there was a story that I told in the Miscreants one time and people fucking loved it. It was, Justin probably remembers the ghost in my attic.
Oh yeah.
Story. But the funny story, I can't rehash that story again.
Then why did you bring it up?
No, I'm just talking about funny stories that we would talk about. That's why.
Well, let's hear it.
About the ghost. But it's so long ago. It doesn't have the same impact. When I talked about it on the podcast, it just fucking happened like the night before, and I was still nervous.
So what? How did you get the ghost out of your attic?
All right, so I'm gonna tell you the story, okay?
There we go.
I'm laying. I'm in.
Push
I'm laying
on,
down
really.
in
Here you
bed.
go. Push
No, no,
on. Hey.
I'm in. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was in the winter time, so it was still like pitch dark at 5 a.m. 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm fucking hearing this noise coming from my attic, and I look at my wife. I'm like, do you hear something? And she's like, yeah, I hear like music playing. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't know. And it would play and then it would turn off. It would play and it would turn off. So I got up in the middle. I'm in the middle of the lights are out. I'm standing up in the middle of the hallway on my second floor and I'm waiting for the fucking sound again. And it happens. And it's above me. And it's in my fucking attic. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, why is music playing intermittently from my fucking attic?
It was his Teddy Ruxpin.
So I pull the thing down, the ladder, and now as I'm going, the music stops. So I go up, and I just have my head up in my attic, and all of a sudden, like a few minutes later, from the back part of my attic, the music starts playing again. You got to be fucking kidding me, man. So I go up in my attic, I turn the light on, and I walk to the back of the attic. I'm, in my back of my attic, and I find what's making the noise. And it's a fucking, like a stuffed animal, a Christmas stuffed animal, but it's not on. It's off. Crazy.
Time to sell.
Right. But that's not where it gets spooky. As I'm up in the attic and I'm looking at this thing and the power is off. As I'm picking it up and looking, it fucking starts again. And as I'm going, my fucking light fucking shatters behind me. Pop.
That's nuts. Time to go.
Pops. I fucking scream. I'm running out of the freaking attic, and now it's pitch dark. It's 5 a.m. during the winter time. It's dark. I'm like falling and stumbling, tripping over shit. I'm like Clark Griswold in Christmas Vacation. The planks are going over.
It couldn't be.
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
I'm sweating. And I come downstairs, and I'm down there, and then I realized that I forgot the stuffed animal. I didn't bring it with me because I dropped it because the light blew up.
Why do you need to have that? If the fucking thing is possessed, why would you?
Whatever the case may be, is Frank. I had to get it out of the house.
You got to burn the house down, Rob. You got to burn the house down.
So I'm downstairs. No, this is not this dude. I'm downstairs now, and I go to get. I'm down. I'm nervous now, and the thing's randomly going off, but not like in specific intervals. It's not like every 2 seconds or 5 minutes it's going off. It's going off randomly. So now I'm waiting for it to get light out. Now it's light out, and I get a little bit more courage to go up in my attic, which is now pitch dark because the lights broke.
Yeah.
And he has no windows in his attic. He's not a king. He has no windows in his attic.
Dude, I go up to my attic to go get the doll. As I go up to go get the doll, the fucking door shuts on me while I'm up.
But there was a silver lining. Because when he was finally able to replace that bulb, Mrs. Howell was there in a negligee.
But what I'm saying, I got that doll. That doll came down, and I got rid of that thing. That thing went right in the trash. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm telling the story like this is like 3 years ago. When I told that story for the first time, it was fucking funny.
Yeah, goosebumps.
Dude, man, but I always had a lot of crazy shit happen. Like when my parents died in my parents' house, I had a lot of crazy shit go on.
You live in Massapequa, right?
I'm in Massapequa.
All right, so for context,
what's that?
For context for the people in the chat and watching, Massapequa is just west of.
I live right by the Amityville Horror House.
I
literally live a half a mile from it, right down Merrick Road.
Ocean Avenue.
Ocean Ave. If anybody Googles where the Amityville Horror House is, and you look at it on a map, you'll see it goes to it's like
Merrick
Montauk
Road.
Highway. It turns into
Yeah.
Merrick Road into Nassau. I literally live like a mile down the road from there, almost a mile exactly. But
So-
listen, Amityville Horror House is full of shit anyway. I don't believe that. But this house has had some weird things happen in it too since I've been here.
Who's that guy standing behind you, Rob?
Nobody, I can see them. Thing right there.
What's that shadowy creature in the
He
in
keeps his
the
eye on that too.
background? Like
There's the
there's
other
like a
story.
shadowy
Just
creature
remembers
in that doorway.
the cricket story. Me trying to kill the cricket. Couldn't get the cricket for like 4 or 5 days, and then I finally got the cricket, and I chopped him up like William Wallace, and I put his body parts all over my basement. So
Yeah, it doesn't help. You have
No,
camel
his friends
crickets.
knew. They knew once they walked in. They saw their body all chopped up.
We have these things on Long Island. They're called cat. Like when you live in New York City, everybody in New York City has roaches. It's just because you're living on top of each other. Billionaires Row in Manhattan has roaches. But when you move out to Long Island, there's no roaches because the houses aren't close enough together. Unless, like there are some neighborhoods where they have roaches, but they're few and far between. But what we do have are these things called camel crickets. They're like regular crickets. Their body's like that big, but their legs go out to here.
They're big crickets, man. They're big. I haven't
they
gotten them
jump
down
it.
here in a while.
Yeah, they're blind. So, and whenever they sense like danger, they jump towards the danger. It works because you run. These things come flying at you.
I'll snap his head off. I hate those things, man.
Yeah, those things are bad news.
I'm chasing them. They're running away. I never seen one run to me. Every time I'm trying to kill those bastards, they're running away, and then I can't
We
get them.
send the dog. We send the dog down. He just goes with his paw. He catches them and he eats them.
Riv, you're getting quite the response in the chat. People are loving these stories.
Oh no!
Hey, Marcos Cruz is here.
I can't see any chat. I don't see anything.
Yeah, we don't see it either.
Huh.
Like, dude, no, yeah, but I chopped that cricket up though, man. That was another story. But dude, the old Mystery and Podcast is fun. The Insanity's great, man. We try to keep things fun and fresh on there. Sometimes things get a little out of hand. Sometimes, Rob Adams is sometimes really drunk by like the end of the show, and you kind of have to like tell him where he is or what we're talking about so he can stay on topic.
I got to tell you that the Mrs. Howell thing, like I say, I listened to it on Saturdays going to breakfast. I had to pull over because I was laughing so hard about that whole story. Oh my God. Crazy.
Dude, the Mrs. House, that was a funny story. The cricket story was definitely hysterical. If you listen to the outtakes, there's an outtake of me when I was talking about, I was like, when I was dieting really hard and I was starving. And I was starving to death. And I said, and I eat like one piece of salad and I was full. I go, and these guys in Ethiopia are freaking, they go 2 months without eating. And I'm starving after like a day or two. I go, what's going on? I need that diet. That caused a stir though when I said that though. That didn't go well.
We live in a very sensitive society.
Yeah. Nah, we have a good. We gotta, like I said, I gotta go through this last show because it got really messed up with that guy on there being all drunk.
Yeah.
Well, why did you have him on the show? Who was he?
I'm not gonna say his name yet, because I don't want to put him out. But he knows who he is. He's not gonna listen to this, but I hope
He knows
does,
who
so
he is.
embarrassed.
Wait a minute. What did you just say? He's not gonna listen to this shit.
Well, he's not a car guy. He's not listening to this. He's not a car guy.
So, the person that did this, is it somebody you know from the modeling community?
He's somebody in the modeling community. Yeah, and he's a friend of ours. He's a good friend of ours. He knows what he did. I was pissed.
Is he a friend of ours, or is he a friend of a friend, or
no? He's a friend of mine. I wouldn't say he's a made guy, but he's a friend of mine.
He's not a button man.
Oh, he definitely lost points with me after that shit. But,
that's it. He's not gonna get made.
We might have to re-record an episode again. And listen, those who know, it's like we all have to be together. Your schedules have to align. Listen, we're not the type of podcast that releases every 2 weeks, because I feel like when every 2 weeks and you got a schedule like that, then you're forcing shows. I don't want to force a show. we're recording when we're all together. We have a good topic to talk about, and we're ready to record. That's why people are already at episode 150 on their podcast. This is modeling, man. There's only so many to talk about before you're talking about the same thing over and over again.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
How many times do we have to talk about what airbrush you like to use?
Yeah.
What airbrush do you like to use, Rob?
Right. There comes a point where, you got to keep it fresh. And I always felt like, if we did every 2 weeks, before you know it, there's you're running out of things to talk about. I don't want to be like that. I want to be like, all right, what are we going to talk about tonight? And you got a ton of things we can still talk about.
Well, plus the thing is, you're doing it for fun, no other reason. So it doesn't have to be that way. When you guys all have time to get, because you guys all have families and stuff, you guys all live far from each other. Everybody's got lives outside of the modeling world. So, yeah, I understand that.
Listen, I spend a lot of time doing stuff in the modeling world, though, to be honest with you, more than I really should be, I think. Working with the
No, because those are your goals, Riv. You want to be a guy in the hobby. You want to have a name for yourself, so you're not doing more than you think you should be doing. You're meeting your standards.
No, I would love to be able to hand stuff over to Mr. Ryan over here, but you know what? Oh man,
I got some shit going on. What the fuck you want from me?
What's with this guy? What's with this guy, Rob? He's got fresh mouth.
Who, Justin?
Yeah, this one. I don't know which way he is. Like when
He's in the middle.
I don't know how they're seeing it.
You're on the top right. Listen, everybody contributes, but listen, one thing that we don't do as insanity is, and I know, we talk about it, but I can't do it, is we don't do Patreon or anything like that. I don't take money from people. Why you?
I'm laughing at the chat. I'm with you, Rob. I don't, as far as
I say something really serious, and this prick is laughing.
Well, I was laughing at Marcos. Marcos says Justin's gonna rub entirely through that car. Stop it already.
I'm trying to make it scale thickness.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's removing his own fingerprints through the other side of the body.
No, actually, when I primed it, I dropped the fucking thing, so there's hairs all in it and shit.
Oh, nice.
Someone, I'm looking at the chat here. Hold on. Someone wrote, I'm looking here and I see somebody goes, is there a history in this house? I don't know, but we're like, I've had things, I'm very sensitive. And this is now being serious here. I am very sensitive to paranormal stuff. I've always been since I'm a kid.
He's so sensitive. He's like a clitoris.
So, with my father. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story. Want to hear a story?
I need to hear this story.
All right, listen. I'm not. Trust me, guys. Whoever's in this chat, I'm not coming back for a while. So I'll get this out now. But I'm going to come on and I'm going to tell a story here. So, my father was a little bit younger than me when he got terminally ill, and he was sick and he eventually passed away. My dad was 50 when he died. And my wife, Debbie, Justin knows my wife. Mike's seen my wife. You've met my wife, Frank, when she's been down here. My wife, Debbie. I started dating Deb right after my dad died, with a month or so after. I mean, I knew Deb for years, but we started dating about a month after my father passed away. And after my dad died, and my dad was dying in the house. He had a hospital bed, and he didn't die in the house, but he was really sick in the house. Not to bring people down, but this is an interesting story. So when I was a kid, my father, I lived in a pretty big, we had a colonial. So when I walked up the stairs, my parents,
Colonial.
right, my parents' bedroom was on the left of the stairs, and then there was a big hallway to the other bedrooms. So when I was a kid, my father would hide in the bedroom, and when I would come up the stairs, he would scare me or jump on me, just joking around, And when my father died,
He stopped doing that?
You're I always felt like my dad was watching me from the bedroom, and I was like, you know what, I'm feeling that because it's a memory and that's how it was and stuff. But it really I would feel it, I could feel it. Fast forward, I'm with my wife maybe 2 or 3 months, never told her any stories about any of this stuff. And we're downstairs watching something. And it was in the evening time, and I did not want to go up to my room to get something because I felt like I had this weird feeling that my dad was in the room watching. It's really weird. So I said to my wife, I said, Dad, can you go up and get whatever it was? It could have been a pillow. She goes, I'm not going up there. I go, why not? She goes, I didn't tell you this, but every time I walk up your stairs, I feel like there's a man watching me from from that doorway. Like I could feel someone watching me. The same feeling that I always had all the time. And I know it seems like it could be nothing, but there's a lot of other things that like happened in my house. Like my parents had these pits, like, can I say this? In our den, we had like this faux finish, Frankie. It was like a plaster. It looked like waves on my wall.
Yeah,
I don't know if we did that. Like maybe it was maybe like a fucking Long Island thing or something.
Yeah, the shroud look.
Yes.
rainbow
Yeah,
shroud,
I that on
And
my
we-
ceilings.
Right, exactly. And we had like these big pictures in my den, and it used to be like the sports pictures, me playing football, lacrosse, my father coaching. It was a big picture of my dad right behind the TV of my dad coaching like a little league baseball game when my brother was younger. And my father loved boxing. My dad was a huge boxing fan. And I remember he had just died. It was like a couple weeks after he passed away. And I forgot who was fighting. It could have been anybody, but it was a fight was going on. And I remember like kind of said out loud that I was like, Dad, I wish you were here watching the fight. No sooner did I say that out of my mouth that picture on the wall spun like 7 times and crashed to the floor. And you're saying, no, that's bullshit. No. My mother was in the kitchen with her friends, and they heard the crash. And I come back, and I'm like, Ma, the picture just spun on the wall and crashed. They're like, no, you're probably just managing it. No. On my wall, there was a circle burned into the plaster from the picture spinning.
Crazy.
All right, buddy, I'm going to fix it in a second. All right, bud?
So welcome to the Paranormal Show.
Oh, my God, man. There was a lot of great
He's like,
stuff.
but wait, there's more.
There is more, but I'm not going to get into it right now.
That's cool. That's
Wow,
scary
crazy.
stuff, man. I don't know how much of that
So what
stuff
I
my
feel
girl
is-
believes in all that, but I don't know, man.
I'm listening, but that stuff kind of like and when I'm in my house now, there's certain things that happen here. Sometimes it's unexplainable. I'm not scared of it. It doesn't scare me. It's just like weird.
Yeah.
I did get scared in the attic, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Say, Pete,
That's
just
it.
What
real.
was the
Pete, just
what was the
real.
decoration? What was the stuffed animal that
It
was
was
making
like
the noise?
it was a stuffed dog. It was a dog with like these long ears with with the Christmas like a Santa hat on, and it played like Christmas music. But it was Frank. It was off. It was off, and it was like an old battery. The thing could have been 10, 11 years old. That thing was in the corner of my attic since I've been living in this house. I never brought it down before. I don't even know how it got up there.
It couldn't even have been like say you had the primaries or the transmission lines behind your house. That wouldn't do it either. Like if there was like sometimes I live a block away from high teas, and if you walk underneath them during like humid weather or if it's cloudy out, you'll hear them humming. You'll hear
Oh yeah, no, I don't have any power lines around.
I don't think it was it
I'm on
couldn't
the
be
south
that.
from
It's two
Massachusetts,
different
right?
kinds.
Now,
It's two different types of electricity. The decorations DC and the attic light is AC.
Oh,
So
you're
it
talking
couldn't
about the
be
light
that.
popping? Oh, I don't.
I'm trying to give you rational explanations
the-
for the obvious paranormal diabolical. You have
That's like-
Satan in your attic.
The stuff that stuffed animal going on and off might be explainable. Like there
Right.
might be like some sort of explanation, even though it was off, it was still getting power, and something happened that made it go on and off. But the question is why didn't it go on and off for the last 14 years? Like, why did it start going off then? Like,
Do
how
your
does that?
kids ever speak Latin backwards by any
Nah,
chance?
there's none of that shit around
None
here, Frank. Or how does the light pop? Or how does the door shut? Like those things are weird. That's
I
like
agree.
unexplainable. That's like shit.
Yeah.
That's like, listen, man, I don't got time for this crap. Like one time, I'm not kidding. You're gonna say this is crazy. I'm in my basement here, and over there is like the sitting room. I got the TV, the couch, and everything. It's like I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'm watching TV down here by myself. My wife is passed out on the couch upstairs, and I'm watching television. And as clear as day, someone whispered in my ear and said my name.
It happens.
And I sat in that chair. My fucking hair is standing up on the back of my head right now just saying that.
Yeah.
I remember sitting on that chair and I just said, "Can I curse a minute, Frank? Am I allowed to
Yeah,
curse?"
yeah.
Yeah.
This is no joke. I'm sitting on that couch and I just went, motherfucker, you gotta be kidding me, man. I don't have time for this shit. I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't
Now's
want to
not
be.
the time.
Do I need? And I'm sitting there. I'm like, did I just hear? I heard it clear as day, and I'm sitting there rewinding the thing I was watching to make sure it was something maybe inside the freaking like the show, and I'm like, oh my god, it's nothing. I go, someone clear as day. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That whole night, I just stood and just stared at the television. I wasn't going to bed that night.
No, you can't. You
No.
can't. That's where they get you.
Well, my parents live downstairs from us. The basement is in a full-blown apartment. Well, my mother passed away back in 2014, so my dad lives downstairs still. And I can't tell you how many times I wake up in the middle of the night and I can hear him call my name. And I get out of bed, I go downstairs, and he's sound asleep. But I think where he's older, I'm thinking he's calling my name because he fell or something, because he's 86. And I get downstairs, I hear him clear as a bell, wakes me up out of a dead sleep. And I walk downstairs and I go and I look in his bedroom and he's fucking sound asleep. Happens all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Hold on, I gotta just. My grandmother just tried calling my phone. My grandmother's gonna be 105, Frank, and she just called my
God
cell
bless.
phone to talk. I gotta tell my wife to call her really quick. Give me one second.
Hey,
Justin.
Debbie!
Hey, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie!
Justin, we got a question. Is that an AMT kit? JT wants to know if that's an AMT kit you're whittling on.
No, this is the Revell.
The Revell 57.
There.
I think the Revell one's better than the AT one. Yeah, that's a nice kit.
By leaps and bounds, it's better.
You gotta
Before he gets
Hold
back
on.
and takes over again,
hold on.
I wanted to take a second and
Hold on a minute. I'm gonna get my wife. Debbie's coming. I just told her to come here a minute. I wanted to just why no one thinks I'm a bullshitter. I'll never.
Mike,
bullshit.
you were too slow.
I was.
What did he say? That I'm a bullshitter?
No, I was
No,
going to show.
before he
I was
gets
going to
back
show
and takes
something
over.
before you got back, but I was too slow, too slow on the draw. But yeah, we definitely want to hear from Debbie to justify your. I wanted to know how much peace you had to get out of your pants when you went up to the attic, because I know Papa Z said that the light went out because you shit your pants, shit a brick.
Dude, man, she'll tell you.
Debbie, the whole world's waiting for you.
Hurry up!
Hurry up, Debbie.
Hurry up! Let's go.
Hurry up.
Hurry up. Well, actually, it gives us an opportunity for our ears to relax.
Oh, Jesus.
Pop
So
my God,
most of the sanding I'm doing on this thing is because I was, I rescribed some of the panel lines to get some space, kind of deepen them a little bit, and I'm trying to sand out where the scriber jumped the line.
Hold on. Just really quick. My parents' house, was it haunted or not?
Totally.
Hi, Debbie.
So
Hi.
I told him the story about you didn't want to go up the stairs. Why?
So Rob's parents' house was like a center hall colonial. So when you went up the stairs, to the left, immediately at the top of the steps was his parents' bedroom door, then the bathroom, and then the 3 bedrooms. And I never met his father. His father passed like 6 weeks before we started dating. But I always felt like if I walked upstairs that there was like a person standing in the doorway of his parents' room. So I would run up the stairs really fast and turn the bathroom light on.
Now,
Always felt like somebody was standing.
Where in his parents' house was the altar to Satan?
or the
altar
well
to who?
in the dark.
Satan, Frank said. But I also told him the story about the time that doll was playing in the attic. Remember, I went up there and then the light go. Remember the light? Remember the
Here?
here the
Yeah.
attic, the stuffed animal in the attic. She remembers it.
Yeah.
House is haunted.
I want to
man.
know.
What-
I want to know what it took to
what
clean out his
crime?
pants when he finally got downstairs.
What crimes have you committed that are attracting this evil to you?
Me? I played with a Ouija
All
board
of
when I
you.
was in high school. So according to Rob,
There you
it's
go.
all
Yeah.
his fault.
She
That
has
was
it.
attached to me.
Yeah.
So
That's
his
it.
parents' house was definitely not. It was definitely his dad waiting for his mom. And then when his mom passed, she lurked around for a little while. But then they must have got together because then it stopped.
Debbie, say no more. This is all your fault. I'm very sorry.
I know it is. It's my fault for doing the Ouija board in high school.
To quote
Yeah,
the
She's
Howard
pulling me
Stern
aside. She's calling my grandmother. She's pulling me aside.
To quote the
I'm
Howard
sorry
Stern
we
movie,
hijacked the Bill Day today. I didn't expect us to talk about this stuff. I hope people are having a good time listening to these stories.
to
Yeah,
quote the
they're
Howard
listening.
Stern movie, she's the goddamn Antichrist.
I got to tell you, my house. I'm the third generation to own it. My grandfather built it in 1955. My father bought it from my grandmother in 1970, and then I bought it in 1998. So it's always been in the family. So, like I said, the apartment downstairs, it was always there. But when my father bought it, he took out all the walls. It was just a playroom for us kids. But there was this thing he called his workshop. Before we had the garage, he had all his tools and stuff. So the cellar stairs went down, and then they turned on a platform and went down again. And
Right.
you were facing that door. I remember clear as a bell. I was probably 3.5 years old, because we bought it in 70. Yeah, so I was 3. I went downstairs. Somebody left the door open, and I crawled down the stairs. And my grandmother was standing in that doorway, and she yelled at me to go back upstairs. Now, we've since redid that whole room, the whole downstairs. So that room's gone, that stairway, everything's gone. Whenever I get downstairs now and I walk down, I can still see her standing in that corner, yelling at me to go upstairs.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Listen,
So-
man.
So
I'm a
55
believer.
years later, I still remember that. It's crazy.
Dude, telling you, man, I could have Justin come here and be like Father Carmine Salducci and clear out the house.
I was gonna say, Riv, I do have a couple of friends that do paranormal investigating. I could probably
Really?
get them up there for you. Yeah.
I am so
Do
not
it.
surprised.
Get the freaking do like the EMF detectors and stuff and all that.
Yeah. I had
My
I would be up for it actually.
I had a
That would
bit
be
of a-
definitely worth videotaping.
I had a bit of a paranormal experience out at Gettysburg. I don't know how many people in the chat are history buffs or know the Jenny Wade story. What are you laughing at, Frank?
was it in the
Jenny who?
lot? Was it in the parking lot?
So Jenny Wade was the only civilian killed at the Battle of Gettysburg.
Oh yeah, that's the didn't the bomb go through the house or something?
So yeah, at one point in the battle, I guess it was to the northwest of the house, the Confederates were coming into town, and to the southwest of the house, or the southeast of the house, the Union was up on the top of the hill. So they were constantly lobbing shells, shooting, all that jazz. Jenny Wade's sister just had a baby, so Jenny was at her sister's house, and she was baking bread for the soldiers, for her sister. A Confederate sharpshooter was shooting at some of the Union soldiers and shot through 2 different doors and killed Jenny Wade. Right there in the kitchen of the house she was in. Earlier in that day, a Confederate Parrott shell came through the roof, blew a hole in the wall. The house is like a duplex. Blew a hole in the wall in the attic into the neighboring house. After she was shot, a couple of Union soldiers carried her body up the steps through the hole and then back down and put her in the basement on the other side of the other half of the duplex. It was Mother's Day of 2020, I think, 2021. It was during COVID. So we all had to have our masks and shit, you know. But we're doing a tour of the house, and as we go up the first set of the steps on to the attic on that side of the house, something kept telling me to turn around and look behind me. Now I never saw anything, but I felt like something was there. We did the whole rest of the tour, but I kept feeling that, like, hey, turn around and look. We went down to the basement, and they had like this whole 1-to-1 scale diorama of how Jenny Wade's body was displayed, like laid there, while the battle raged and all that jazz. And they have a story, electronic story pre-recorded, telling you about Jenny Wade and the battle and the lover that she had that was also killed, blah, blah, blah.
Oh wow.
While we're sitting there, it smells like a basement, right? It smells like a standard freaking musty basement. I'm sitting there, and as we're listening to it, I smell the basement smells. Then all of a sudden, there was like a sweet, flowery smell, like a perfumey smell that came over the basement smell. So I could smell both. As soon as I realized I could smell something and I was trying to figure it out, it went away.
Right.
Okay, sure, whatever. So after the whole thing was done and everyone started filing out, I went around the room looking for one of those Glade fucking air freshener sprayer things, looking for where I smelled this smell from, and there's nothing down there for that. So I'm kind of, I went with it, and I was like, hey, Jenny, I know you were here. Thanks for visiting. Soon as I said that, dude, a chill from the bottom of my back all the way up my neck. Freaking like, ring! I was like, holy shit. Fucking Jenny Wade sat there with me while we were fucking listening to her story.
And she
you
let
told
out
me
a
that
queef.
story.
I was gonna say
And-
you didn't realize it, but Frank was standing next to you, and he had just left the bakery. He had had entirely too
Dude,
many.
oh my God. So how about this? Like once a month, you do a paranormal build room.
There you go.
The way the chat's
when we
taking
went
off, that
to-
might be a thing.
when we went
Dude.
to the gift shop after, because places like that, they make you go through the gift shop to get out. The employees there were like, so did you guys, what'd you think of the tour? Did you experience anything? Blah blah blah. And I was like, well, there was at one point in the basement, I got this like perfumey smell, and the two of them just looked at each other, and I was like, they're like, did it smell like roses? I was like, yeah, it could have been roses, but by the time I realized I was smelling something to try to figure out what it was gone. And they said, well, Jenny Wade's favorite perfume was made with rose petals.
Oh, there you go.
I was like, oh fuck.
Dude,
She had a
that-
blistering
those-
case of vaginosis, so she had
Dude,
to
I'll-
bathe.
Right.
Jesus.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, those phantom
What kind of
the fan-
yeast was she using to bake the bread?
the phantom smells are real though, man.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I told you this. When we talked about that, Justin, is when I told the story about how when Debbie used to stay at my parents' house, my mother was still alive. I told you I used to stay in the guest room,
Yeah.
and I used to sleep on the couch. And I had a Yorkie. We had a Yorkshire Terrier then, and in the middle of the night, pitch dark, I hear my dog would walk around at night. You would hear it walking and stuff. So I was kind of sleeping, I thought. And I would always lean over and start patting the floor like you do to bring your dog would come over and start licking your hand and stuff. So I hear walking in the room, and then I put my hand down. I started patting the floor and thinking my dog was going to come. The dog never came, but I kept hearing the walking in the room. And that's when I told you, we talked about the phantom
Frank.
stuff.
Stop, Frank.
Dude, all of a sudden I get hit with this breeze comes over me, and I had this smell all over my body. We talked about this, Justin, and I couldn't remember where the smell was from. I couldn't place it. It was like this. It smelled like perfume, but it wasn't perfume. It smelled like this, and then I realized what it was. It was the
Jenny
smell
Wade's
of,
cooch.
no, it was the smell of flowers and my father's Old Spice mixed together. And it was the exact same smell. I remember when my father had passed away and he was laid out with the flowers and the Old Spice they had put in him.
Yeah.
And it was that same smell that was all over me, the blankets, and the pillow. And this is the thing. The next morning, the smell was still all over the couch. And I had my wife and my mother was still alive at the time, came in the room and smelled it. My mother knew right away. She goes, that was your father. I go, I'm telling you, man. It's
Oh, that's crazy.
I don't know, man. I want to stop. I want to go to bed tonight. I got to get sleep. I can't be scared going to bed tonight.
So these stories that we're telling are inspiring some people. We got Marcos Cruz that said he wants to build start a Ghostbusters caddy.
And he's like, make it a low ride. Your little Yorkie shit himself. Nah, the Yorkie was. I'm telling you, man, some crazy shit would go on in that house, man.
Dean
Stupid. I
wants to
hijacked
make
this
the Supernatural Impala.
Impala.
That's a good
Well,
kit.
I can see it now. Sunday Builds is going to have a group build called anything ghost related, including a figure of Rob Riv shitting his pants when he picked up the puppy dog stuffed animal. If you add in the exploding light behind it, you get extra points.
That's
Get effort points.
Impala, that is a nice kit.
Dude, we're telling funny stories, man. It's funny.
Yeah.
Could be just a coincidence. It was also on the Southern Rock Group. Billboard said every time he goes into a group at the local Leonard Skinner concert. He can smell a really strange smell. It smells like burning leaves. I told him that was probably the ghost of the local tree trimmers.
It's the ghost of Mary Jane.
Ghost of Mary Jane. That's it.
One last dance with Mary Jane, huh?
What's up, Kamikaze? Tuning in for the first time. Welcome. This is we're having a lot of fun talking about ghosts. It's not our typical show, but we're having a lot of fun talking about it. We got a guest, Mr. Rob Riv from the Insanity Podcast is here.
Welcome to Supernatural Chat with Rob Riv.
Right. Rob's telling us some funny stories. But that's
the priest that hey Rob, my father was a deacon in the Catholic Church, and the priest that said my father's funeral mass was the exorcist for the Diocese of Rockville Center. He was. True story.
He's definitely reading something else. It's like going in the
Oh,
Discord.
I was looking at something. What'd you talk about? What'd you say about me?
My father
What
was
did you say about me?
my father was a deacon in the Catholic Church, and when he passed away, the priest that said his funeral mass was the exorcist for the Diocese of Rockville Center.
Oh, he did the exorcist stuff. Exorcism.
Yeah, every diocese of the Catholic Church has an exorcist. Every single one. Yeah.
I need to be exorcised. I got a lot of demons I got to get out of my body, out of this.
Yeah, we hear you talking about them all the time, especially if you eat your rum.
Mrs. Howell. Mrs.
Most-
Howell demon is buried in there deep.
Well,
Not to burst.
It's like, what's wrong with Mrs. Howell? All of a sudden, she's like not good. Mrs. Howell was hot, and she was rich too.
There is that. She did have the money.
They had syndication money, all of them.
No,
They all had syndication money.
No,
And
you're
they're all
wrong,
gone.
Frank. Read it. The only person who had a contract for syndication was the chick that played Mary Ann.
Really?
Yeah, she was one of the first people to ever sign a syndication contract. Yeah. Read about it. You'll
She
see.
died not too long ago.
Yeah, she died not too long. I think the only one that's still alive is Ginger.
Ginger. Yeah,
And you know
Ginger.
what? She don't look bad for a 95-year-old
Oh,
lady.
geez.
Fucking
Yeah.
Riv.
Just shoot me now and get it over with.
Oh, Mike, all of a sudden now you got standards. Are you
Yeah.
out of your
I know.
mind?
Yeah, suddenly
You're wearing
Mike's
a
got
fucking
paid.
hat. You look like a drunken Popeye right now with that hat on. And you're worried about me making jokes about Ginger and you got standards for
I
Christ's
got
sake.
standards.
You woke up today and wore that shirt and you're talking about me.
Hey, that's a good shirt, man.
Don't get me started now. Now you're gonna start hearing the stuff that goes on in the Insanity when you start trying
You turned your camera on and you saw that hat. You go, "This is a good choice. I'm
This
going
is
to
a
go
good
with."
choice.
Yeah,
This is
you know,
solid
you're talking-
You're
choice.
not going to say anything.
Listen, I apologize, Mike. I came in on your show. I apologize. I thought it would be funny to come on when Jason wasn't here because we know that, I avoid Jason sometimes. So I'm on here, and I figured I'd sneak out before he came on. But from what it looks like, he ain't coming.
Yeah,
So I'm saying the whole show.
He's
No.
chimed in on the chat a couple times, but that's it.
Right
He's killing
now-
dragons
right
and
now
he's
he's-
gonna be-
Yeah, he's balls deep in orcs.
No, they're all true stories. Whoever's saying that, Kev, I'm telling you, man. Listen, man. I'm a bullshitter, but when it comes to that stuff,
No,
I don't bullshit. A lot of stuff is real. That paranormal shit, man.
My girl's into all that. She believes in all that. I don't know if I've never had an experience, so I don't know if I believe or not, but she's definitely into all that. She's all that. She puts out. She gave me some leaf or something, and no, not a 7-fingered leaf, just some little piece of like a berry leaf to put in my wallet for good luck. She believes in all that stuff.
I'll tell you something true that'll make you think. Everybody gets deja vu,
I get that.
right?
Yeah.
I get deja vu a lot, and my wife will tell you I have very, very vivid dreams, vivid dreams. I remember most of my dreams when I wake, and I sometimes remember some of my dreams for years after I've had them. And I'm going to tell you right now, definitively, you can call me a bullshitter, I don't care. There's things that I dreamt about or had dreams about that actually happened in my life, either after or years later. Coincidence or not, similarities or not, I don't know. But there's a lot of things, a lot of times I've had dreams and I remember them. And as they're happening while they're happening, my wife will tell you, I'll say, I dreamt this. I know exactly what's going to happen, and I'll say it, and it happens. And I'm like, why can't they fucking happen when we doing the lotto or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like, who won the Super Bowl? Like, it's like
not
I
the
can't
point.
profit from it. But I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but there's been things that have happened, and it's usually centered around things. Okay, this is a really good, and it's the last story I'm going to tell. No. And this is kind of on a serious note. Everybody knows that I'm a colon cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
10 years this year, July 20th, I'll be 10 years cancer free. We're going to have a celebration on the channel, on the Build Room. We're going to have a party.
Chocolate pudding for everybody.
Now listen, my father had colon cancer too, so it's always in the back of my mind that something can happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I knew that I was going to get sick the year that I got sick. I just knew it. And why I knew it, I didn't know. And I was saving all my sick time. And everybody would say, why are you saving? Because I had a dream of me getting sick in 2015. And you know what? I saved all my sick time up leading up to 2015, and dang gummit, I fucking got sick in 2015. Is it a coincidence? I don't know.
That's
but
great.
I knew I was going to be sick. And and everybody's like, I can't use my sick time. Why not? Because I'm going to need it in a year or two because I'm going to be sick. I knew it.
Mm.
And I knew it. And it was crazy. And I don't know, man. I got something going wrong. Something's wrong with me, I think. Like I said, I can't have premonitions about what the fucking Mega Millions numbers are.
Because that's not the point.
Or like who's going to win the Super Bowl? Or at least the Jets maybe can win. What's that, Frank?
The
But
Jets. Now you know that's a dream if the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl.
If you can't
You'd be
have
lucky for them to win a game.
premonitions on what will make you rich, then maybe the point is not to be rich. The point is to live a richer and fuller life.
Absolutely, Frank. You are a fucking Hallmark card. Exactly.
Oh, here we go with this fucking rah rah ooh. I love you.
You are 100% right, Frank. I'm rich in life. I got a wife that lets me do whatever the hell I want. I got good friends.
A lot of people realize that the subconscious, where we have dreams, and deja vu is a function of your subconscious mind while you're awake. They're inflection points where your brain is constantly moving and operating in the background. So when you're having an inflection point, which is deja vu, your mind has played out this scenario, and as reality catches up with the scenarios that your mind has prepared you for, it trips a trigger where you're like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do at this point. That's what
Frank
deja vu.
Stickman Freud Steffens over here. We love him.
Exactly.
Frank, you know what my graduate degree. Frank, you know what my graduate degree is in, right?
What?
Psychology.
That's what the subconscious is doing to you.
No, I agree with you 100%, man. Listen, you're right on point, man. We're having a conversation. We're trying to have people think a little bit today. This is more of like a thinking build session for some people, not just listening to you guys build about how you build the carburetors.
That's it right there, Rob. That's probably the best quote.
There you go. Yeah, that's true right there, man. Garage, you're right. Garage time, I agree, man. Listen, 10 years cancer-free this year, man. You don't know what the future holds. Justin gets mad. No, it's not Justin. It's Rob Adams gets mad at me when I say, you don't know what the future holds. Enjoy it while you can. He's like, why you got to be so negative for? I'm like, dude, you don't know if you're going to be around. That you never know when your time is going to be cold, man.
That's it.
All right? Have a good time while you can. Enjoy yourself. Build models. Spend time with your friends, your family. Go out to dinner. Good restaurants. Go on vacation.
That's what you're here. That's what you're here for, is to experience things and develop meaning from those experiences.
Absolutely.
And we build models so that we are able to devote our attention to other important things. And then through that, this becomes important to us too, because here we find a community, we find friends, we find creative outlets, we find inflection points for other aspects of our lives. And then we could use other things that we've learned throughout our lives in this.
Right.
When we learn
Frank,
history.
when are we making s'mores and singing Kumbaya?
Welcome.
You're assuming you're invited, Justin.
I'm going to tell you right
That's
now,
what you're saying.
Mike, I'm going to tell you this definitively, that the next week's Bill Day is not going to be as good as today.
It's not going to have the same stories in it. That's for sure.
No offense, Jason.
It's not going to be better. It's this. It can't. You can't top this right now, man. Everybody in this chat's going to even say it. You're just not going to top it, man.
Yep.
The-
Model
the-
Car
right.
Madness from
The
Rhode
model
Island
car
says
man
that's
is.
it.
You have deep thoughts from Frank Steffens. My God, you know.
There's the show.
All
This
of
is
my
the guy.
thoughts.
Frank is the guy. He's the guy that when that guy's he's the talker down a guy, right? He's the negotiator when the guy's on the ledge. Call Frank Steffens. There's Frank with the bullhorn. Don't do it. Right? It's precious.
But you
It
got
could
to
be worse.
Much more you could do.
You could,
with your
could
life.
be worse. You could look
There's
like
a lot of
this.
models to be built. Don't do it.
You still got
Well,
models
so
in your stash.
you do need to adjust it though. It's not just deep thoughts. It's two-finger deep thoughts with Frank.
Easy.
No, Frank, you're on. Dude, no, all joking aside, you said some good stuff, Frankie. You did good. You missed your calling, Frank. You missed your calling.
What was it supposed to be?
You could have been one of
Goddamn.
those. You could have been one of those. Who's that guy that does the inspirational talking?
Tony
that has, like,
Robbins?
yes, you could have been him. Yeah,
Could have
your
been.
Long Island, New York accent and all. My God, you would have filled arenas.
Dude, you have no idea how much it turns people off.
What, your voice?
My
Oh, I can
accent.
tell. I'm from Long Island and I got a thick accent, and your voice definitely turns me off, Frank.
I know.
I'm only kidding,
The
Frank. You
problem
sound
is
like an
if I try to speak like everyone else speaks in the United States of America, I sound like I had a traumatic brain injury because this is the way I have to speak.
Frank. You know what I try to do to sound like Middle America or something? I can't do it. I can't.
No, I'll start stuttering because
I got
speech
Long Island.
technology.
This Brooklyn, Long Island. This area is ingrained in my.
DNA.
We talk fast. We talk this way because it's the fastest way to talk. Because we don't have time for bullshit.
Right,
You know, like get the sentence out. Let's go.
Frank. You know what? We're gonna change it up. We're gonna get rid of Justin. We're gonna get rid of Rob Adams. Possibly Steve Santucci. Frankie Donati. I don't know. He's my wingman lately. We're gonna get me and you. We're gonna do our own podcast. Me and you.
That's it.
You can't get rid of the Tooch. The Tooch is the show, man. That dude rocks. Or Frankie.
What?
Or Justin. Yeah, you can't.
Did you just say in my presence that Steve Santucci is the glue that keeps that podcast together? Did you really?
He's
say
not
that, Mike?
only the glue, he's the common sense that keeps that podcast together. That dude
Mike,
rocks.
I am so listen. You know what? I can't be mad at you. I'm just very disappointed,
Just
and that's worse than ever being mad.
That is.
Don't
Well,
ever
you
say
never-
that again, even in a joking manner. He's you know what he's doing. You know what Steve Santucci is doing right now as we speak.
He's probably
He's
reenacting.
reenacting the Battle of Bunker Hill.
See?
With another 1,000 other guys dressed up like Revolutionary War soldiers, playing
See?
dead in the field, acting like explosions are going on, and they're over in the back wiping their ass with toilet paper that didn't exist in fucking Revolutionary War. They're eating Big Macs, and they're sleeping in fucking beds in a fucking nice warm house. If you want to reenact the way you're supposed to reenact, fucking wipe your ass with leaves and stop acting like it's a fucking right.
Yeah, you're not
And
camping.
For those of
You're
you that have
reenacting
never
war.
been to the Insanity podcast, that's known as a riv rant. And they
So I
happen
don't want to hear
very
it.
often.
I'm sorry, I got a little out of see. This is what happens. You bring up Toots with me. It gets me work. I get worked up.
Well,
I
you
gotta
got to
take
be
a breath.
careful. I've poked the bear a couple times. I did it on the Discord one night, and I won't mention his name, but somebody in this room texted me privately and said, "Why did you poke him like that?"
I'm checking my
Let's put a
pulse
nickel
right
in
now.
That narrows
It's
it down,
racing.
Mike.
Well, at the risk of ruining the party, I wanted to bring it back just a little bit to the model side of stuff. I did mention earlier, and I posted some things on Facebook. I am a little bit proud, so I want to go ahead and show you guys my 67 Charger that I got my first gold with. So really super proud to finally have gotten something above bronze. So I'm up there. I told Jason Hanscom that I got my first gold, and I was able to come up to the King's Throne and at least look out the window down on the peasants and then had to go back down there and hang out with him. So go ahead and throw this up there and give everybody a quick look. Add to the stage and then make it solo layout. So
We got a gold
there it
for
is,
that,
guys.
Reggie?
Yeah, I built that. Yeah, that's mine.
No, you got a gold, you said?
Yeah, I got a gold with it right there. She's
That's
coming
great.
around. There's my gold. Really proud of it. That's the 67 Charger. If you guys go
That's
back through
cool.
my personal library, you can see the build on it. But it's the Revell 67 Charger with a Iceman Collections new Hellcat. Actually, it's the Elephant and the Iceman Collections chassis. And I believe those are Jay's wheels. Not 100% sure where I got the wheels, but super proud of it. Like I said, took it down to PamsCon Saturday, won a gold with it. So it's my first gold. Going to be proud of that, and hopefully there's more to come. And
Nice.
thank y'all for letting me share.
That's a good show, that PamsCon.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun down there. It's not a huge show. Thanks, Rick.
They don't have to be big shows.
They don't. I like the smaller show. I mean, Acme's great, but the smaller shows are good too because you get a chance to,
Right.
actually get more time to hang out and talk to people. I had Matthew had let me take his product down there, and I was a vendor for the first time, and wasn't able to do my normal, going around socializing. But instead, I met a lot of people that came up that were both new people to me and fans of the show, my channel. Got to hang out with some of the subscribers. It was great. It was a really good time.
It's always good meeting people at those shows that listen to your show or that know your work or know.
Right.
Just what I'll tell you, it can be overwhelming sometimes depending on the type of show and the amount of people. That's what it's about, man. That's why you do it.
Exactly.
The best kind of overwhelming.
Right.
It's the best kind of overwhelming because when people come up and tell you how much they love your show or love the work you do, and I listen to you, like Tim was saying, I laugh when I'm driving. You make the trips go quicker. I mean, that's what it's about,
But it's shows are always. I mean, I think that's 50%. I got that from Billy Strange. Brought that up and put it in words. If you're missing out on the shows, you're probably missing out on 50% of the hobby because that's an opportunity for us to do what we do and do it together and meet the other people. See what they're doing to their builds and maybe incorporate some of that stuff into yours, different ideas or whatever. I mean, how many of us have had an idea and either started building it or just had an idea in your head and you go to a show and somebody else had something that's similar? You're like, dang, it happens,
right. Well, listen, those shows, it's a community. It's meant to be to congregate and see other people's work, meet people and see people. Frank will tell you, listen, I've been to it, haven't been to it in a long time, but the NNLE, right, in Wayne, New Jersey, Frank. And what's great about that show is right, Frank, it's almost all display, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
It has, where Mosquito Con is held, Rob?
Yeah.
That gym, that's one of the vending.
One of the vending. I've been to NNLE
one of them.
years ago. It's been a long time. It's been quite a long time since I've been there.
And where the cafeteria is another vending room. And then the show itself is in the big, gigantic gymnasium.
The big gym in the back, right?
Yeah.
It's gigantic. 12 to 1,300 models.
That's awesome, though, man.
It's sick.
And you get things, and you get to see people's work, and you get to talk to people and see how they do things. And I just think that a show like that just works.
That's the best part of the show is that you get to talk to people.
Right. To hang out, get to see the people, shake their hand, put a Facebook name on it.
Rob, on your latest podcast, you guys were talking about judging and stuff.
Yeah, that was the
great show.
Insanity show. Yeah,
that was good. So, being a car guy, my model club puts on a show every year, and it's just cars because we're all car guys. We have a couple of military classes because we have some friends that build military stuff, but it's 99% cars, right? But we go to a local IPMS show. There's 4 of them in this area I go to, and they want nothing to do with automotive. They don't know how to judge it. They don't know how to look at the classes. Is 10, where everything else has got 30 classes. That's
right.
So when I go to an IPMS show, every show's like this. I like to go and see my friends and people you don't see often. like when I go to NNLEC, Frank, if you went, Rob, I'd meet you, and if
Right.
Justin went, that's the best part of the shows. But IPMS shows they're not welcoming for car guys. They need to change that, with some of the stuff they do,
I was gonna say,
Rob and I have a different experience because the president of our local IPMS chapter is actually a car builder.
Oh, so that's
from
good.
Duluth. Yeah, he is, and he's very, very welcoming to car modelers. Long Island Scale Model Society in general is very welcoming to car modelers.
I think it's becoming more and more accepted because even like Pam's Con and Jack's Con, just down here anyway. I can't speak to NNL East. I've never been to that, but it's growing, the IPMS, because I mean, if it tries to stay by itself, you got a lot of other competition out there that'll eventually take it away. But they're becoming, at least in my experience, they're becoming more and more open-armed to model car guys, and the car guys are starting to show up in force, because they're being more welcomed. But you're 100% right, Tim, when it comes to judging. I've not been to an IPMS show where they were not asking for judges over the microphone. It's like, how do you not have enough judges?
Well, that's the other thing I don't understand. Like when we plan our show is in October, and come January, we're already talking about next year's show, what themes are going to be, how many vendor tables we're going to have, what are the classes going to be, and we get judging teams. So the day of the show, they just announced, okay, at noontime, the judging will start. I can't tell you how many IPMS shows I go to, and you hear over the PA, we need volunteer judges.
Yep.
Well, as a competitor, that don't give me a warm, fuzzy feeling, because it could be some guy that just walked in off the street and go, yeah, I'll judge.
You hope that he's with experienced judge, but you never really know.
Yeah,
that's inherently the issue right there, though.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's call it growing pains or whatever, but in my opinion, at least they're becoming more welcome to the idea of cars being there, which, as a car guy, that's cool.
Yeah.
But
well, guys, I will give you my word as a non-specific modeler that I will be your champion. I will be the car modeler's champion.
There we go. Let's get him a cape.
No, I'm thinking suit of armor and a flag.
You're gonna need something because you're gonna get bombed.
Look, you see me on the Lucas E page. I don't give up.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm making plans to go to a show in Milton, Florida, that is an IPMS show, and it's called the Blue Angels Model Fest. So you can probably guess, based on the name, or at least I did, what their centric is, or I would guess it's going to be aircraft. Being Blue Angels, I can only imagine that it's going to be aircraft. But I'm still going to go up there. I've never been. It's close enough to me to where I only have to get a room for a night or whatever, and probably take some MCV products up there and maybe some VCG products up there and make a presence, because it's my opinion that if the car guys aren't showing up or for some reason are avoiding it, that's not the right answer. If we're able to be there and you want to show your stuff, go. Just be that guy. You know what I mean?
Listen,
well, like I say all the time, I don't care if you do figures, you do planes, you do Gundam, whatever. It's still all part of the modeling world. And there's a lot of things that cross over to others. Like I listen to the guys on the Insanity podcast. I'm not a military guy by any means. I like it because it's entertaining. I like all the hosts on it, but I still learn stuff and different things that they talk about. So It doesn't matter what you build, you still build. So, and the reason why I asked about the judging and stuff is because around here, IPMS is not very welcoming to model car guys. So I was curious, is it welcoming in other parts of the country? We got, like I said, I think there's 4 or 5 I go to here. We got one that there's 4 or 5 guys from this other club, Granite State Modelers, that build cars as well, and they've joined our club. Their president has joined our club. And he goes out of his way to welcome us car guys. He's introduced us to the guys who judge him all the time, and their car guys too. So that's the only one I look forward to, because I know that it's going to be a fair competition. We're welcome there. They like to have us there. All the other ones, you don't get a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's just they put it in because they have to. It's not like they want to. But it seems the more and more I go to these IPMS shows, the more and more the car community is growing at these shows. So IPMS needs to learn how to be more welcoming for that if they want their shows to continue. Because if you turn the car guys away, the last IPMS show I went to, there was 325 models. 120 of them were cars. So that's a third of the show was cars. So
Right,
Yeah.
but I was going to say that, Tim. The thing is, in my opinion, cars in the United States, just focus on the U.S., car modeling is the biggest aspect of the hobby, in my opinion.
yeah,
There's more people who build model cars than armor, military-based vehicles, and airplanes. And I think airplanes might be second, and then military-based vehicles is third. Gundams will put that to the side because that's a whole nother ball game that's starting
Yeah.
to really pick up steam. But like you said, a third of that show is auto. Like I know Frank used to go to Mosquito Con, right? Frank used to go to Mosquito Cons.
Yeah.
Maybe not this past year, but in years past, you go to a Mosquito Con, there's a lot of cars there, man.
Yeah.
A lot of cars.
Because
Now-
the tri-state guys, the guys that put on NNL East, they support Mosquito.
Right, and we also have an NNL club here on we got the Lawyers Club here on Long Island. You're part of Lawyers, aren't you?
I'm friends with all those guys. I just, you know what it is, I can't get down to meetings. It's hard.
But I don't get to the Scale Model Society really because the Long Island Club because it's on Monday nights and Mondays are hard.
What I was saying when you were talking to Debbie before, on Long Island we have the Long Island Scale Modeling Society, whose president Jim Belucos is
Right.
a car modeler.
It's a car model. He's a great friend. I love Jim.
Yeah.
Jim's a great guy. You saw that Joe Habercorn passed away, right?
No,
Yeah.
I'm
Joe
sorry to
passed
hear
away.
that. He was a very nice man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he passed away a week or two ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe a little more.
That's too bad.
Cancer came back. Yeah, he passed away.
Ah.
But not to bring it down to there, but car modeling, definitely, in my opinion, there's a reason why when you go to HobbyCon, all those non-model related type stores that's not model centric, is all car models because they
Yeah.
sell.
yeah,
There's a reason why there's no armor really at those stores. Like they have the monogram patent at every store. There's a reason for that because more car models sell more than anything, in my opinion.
yeah,
And there's a reason for that. And like Mike said before, it's Frank, I forgot who said it. Maybe you said it, Tim, about you want to build things that you're familiar with too.
yeah,
And I think the car scene is just really, people are familiar. Like my father built model cars. He did a lot of die-cast stuff years ago and a lot of HO scale trains. But, it's car modeling is a lot bigger in the country here than you really think. And it's funny that you say about IPMS not embracing it. And it's ironic considering I think it's the largest community in the hobby here in the States.
Yeah.
Maybe not in Europe and over in Asia, but here in the States it is.
yeah,
That's probably because most of the model car hobby is not necessarily replica based, it's speculative. So
Right.
it's more creative. We create whatever we want. Like
Yep.
there's no such thing as accurate. Well, there's accuracy in terms of shape and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you could do whatever you want. Whereas and I know for a fact in the model plane community, what if schemes are generally looked at, especially if you go to a show. Speculative schemes for aircraft are not really, if you can't document it actually having taken place in history, people
Right.
look at you like, well, what are you doing that for? You
Right,
know?
and you take a lot of heat, and that happens in the armor community too. You got a little leeway with German armor and things like that, but yeah, it's the same thing with military-based vehicles.
yeah. Well,
Right,
like
if
I
you
say,
want to
Rob,
build, go Tim, go.
I bought my first tank after listening to you guys so much. I bought my first tank. Now
Good.
I bought it. I'm going to do it for the turkey shoot just to have some fun. I've never built a tank before. Me and Justin went back and forth a little bit. He was telling me how to do some stuff and everything. Will it be 100% accurate? Probably not.
Are you kidding me? The turkey shoots are bland. Listen, it's crazy. It's almost July. We're already getting into turkey shoot prep.
Yeah.
Before you know it, it's the fucking fall, man. I mean, the second half of the year flies.
Yes.
Like we're already in July.
Our resident hobby shop owner, Brian Connell, super nice guy, comes in on the show for us, and he's inviting you to come up there to Mass. He says he's got a lot of armor stuff up there, along with the cars.
Where in Massachusetts, bro? Where's this guy wear mask?
I'm
I
not
actually went
sure.
to Springfield College in Massachusetts my first year before.
Yeah.
I left that place. I had to go back. I went to St. John's. I had to
Yeah.
get out of there.
His hobby store is on the New Hampshire, Massachusetts line, Hobby Emporium. If you go back recently, Jason and I went there, and Jason did a video. And yeah, they have. It's a great hobby store. They have absolutely everything. The building is probably 200 feet long, and on one side is all armor vehicles, and then on the next aisle is all planes, 200 feet long on each side. And then they have another half aisle of automotive stuff, all kinds of supplies. They do railroad stuff. I mean, it's a great hobby stop. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you're ever in Mass, we'll take you.
I mean, I don't get up there often, but I want to try to get to GraniteCon up there. So maybe when I get to GraniteCon, maybe I'll get up there.
Yeah.
Brian, why don't you send Justin a message about details about the shop, and we'll do a spot on the show.
A hobby shop shout out on the show.
Yeah.
Brian, if you don't have
Absolutely.
Justin's information, you can send it to mine, because I'm not sure if you're on my channel or if you're on Jason's channel, but you can PM me. I know you've PM'd me before, and I can get you hooked up with Jason.
Yeah, Brian, send Mike or Justin the info about the shop, and we'll do shout out to you on the show.
I also want to formally invite all the people in the chat over to the Insanity Podcast.
Well, we're creeping
Facebook
up on
page.
that. We're coming up on our 2 hours. I just wanted to add one more thing about model related, about the judging and IPMS. You guys keep in mind, it doesn't matter. I'm talking to chat and anybody else that wants to listen. It doesn't matter what's going on currently in any form or fashion of your life. If you don't like it, get involved, be a part of it, and help to change it, right? So if you don't like what IPMS is doing, get involved with the club, your local club, and be a part of the change. Be effective. Don't just sit back and complain about it. Be a part of it. Get involved. Go to the shows. Again, the shows are a great place to meet people, learn new things. Everybody's advertising their clubs and what's going on in the different shows. So,
hey, Rob,
be a part of the change.
Rob, that other club, I know you're a pretty big part of it. That Amps.
Yeah.
Is that all just armor? Is that all that? Yeah.
Well, we're doing Gundam and sci-fi now, but it's all armor. I'm the second VP of the East region, and Steve is the VP of the actual VP of the club now.
Yeah. I've heard you guys talk about it and stuff, and I didn't know, like I say, if it was just all armor stuff, because like my club,
it's all armor based.
Yeah, like our show was all cars,
Yeah. Right. Well, I just like they have the NNL shows and stuff like that. It's all car specific. Armor has the same thing with the AMP shows, which is Armor Modeling Preservation Society. I think the only I don't think airplane guys have their own shows, right? Or do they?
No, well, there's the IPMS, International Plane Modelers Society.
Well, we are creeping up on the last few minutes. I'm sorry, Justin. We are creeping up on the last few minutes of the show. So we like to do our little shout outs and tip our hats to the different shows and whatnot and where they can find everybody. Justin, would you like to start?
Absolutely. I'll give the beginning. So like I was saying, I definitely want to invite everybody that's enjoyed our chat here today. Head on over to the Modeling Insanity Podcast Facebook page. Join up. Bring your scale model car influence over there as well, because we are trying to build a community rather than just, oh, look, these guys are just tank guys. Like I said, I want to bridge the gap. I want to be the car modelers champion in the hobby and bring car modelers into more popularity. I try to inspire the guys over on the Insanity groups to build a car every now and again. So definitely join up. We do have questions to answer. Please, at the very least, agree to the group rules, but answer some questions. Just where did you hear about us? You can just say the Sunday chat. You know what I mean? Don't have to go crazy.
We have the questions so we don't have like bots coming on. And
Exactly. We don't want those.
Make sure you're human.
We don't want those sexy scammers like at the Lucas C channel that just go around liking everybody's posts.
Right.
That
is true.
You can also find me at Ryan's Random Model Works on Facebook and Instagram and all that jazz. I do not have a YouTube channel. I am.
Well, we got the Modeling Insanity TV.
I personally don't. I was going to leave you to announce that one. So
Oh,
chill the fuck out.
cool.
But real quick, Tim, first weekend of October is ArmorCon up in Connecticut.
Okay.
I don't know when your show is, but it's October 3rd, 4th. You should definitely try to make it up there and drag
That's the
Jason
weekend. That's the
kicking and
weekend of
screaming.
our show.
Well, yours is Sunday, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, so this is Friday, Saturday.
I take Friday off from work. I have to go get the awards, make sure the hall's ready, all that. Saturday we have our meeting, and then Sunday we have the show, and then Monday I'm exhausted. I take the day off just to
Right.
relax.
Well, if you and Jason can come up on that Saturday, that would be great. We can hang out for lunch,
Yeah.
or whatever.
We're doing a live show there too.
Yeah. So, like I said, if you want to see what the Amps Club is all about, come check it out.
Yeah. I was gonna go to the one you guys just went to in Springfield not too long ago, but something came up with my dad and I couldn't go. But I wanted to go just to see you guys because I know
Yeah.
Rob was there, you were there.
Yep.
But it just didn't work out.
And
Unfortunately.
now we also have Amps Nats out in South Bend, Indiana next year. So,
Yeah.
that's
a long
a good
trip.
road. That's a
That's
good
one.
road trip for you and Jason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got, guys.
Uh,
Who's next?
Thank you, Justin. Mo Model Builds. I do not have a link for the Insanity chat, but you can go to Insanity Model Podcast on Spotify, or you can go to YouTube and put in Insanity TV. That'll get you straight over to them. Modeling
Yeah, it's
Insanity
You
TV.
gotta put the Modeling Insanity.
The Modeling Insanity TV. That'll get you over there to them, and I'm pretty sure they have the links there, or can steer you from there to get to where you need to
They're
be.
all wrong. It's just Modeling Insanity TV, and it's the Modeling Insanity podcast.
Well, there you go.
There's,
How about
I
you,
thought
Tim?
there was a V, because didn't you give
Right
Frank?
There it is.
Didn't you give Donati a bunch of shit because he made the email address without the modeling?
Okay, the Modeling Insanity TV sounds kind of weird. Modeling Insanity TV sounds more correct, right?
And Dean, and Dean wants to know if there's going to be more ghost stories over there on Sanity. The best you can do is go over there, because if it ain't a ghost story, there's bound to be other stories that are just as entertaining. Tim, I know you don't have a YouTube channel, but you got anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Well, yeah. If you want to see anything that I build, I'm on Instagram under Tim's Model Shop. I am on Pinterest, and I am told it is at Tim Ryan is how you find it. They call the stuff on Pinterest just boards, and it's just you post pictures. So if you're a car guy, I post. My favorite thing is box art. So I have box art of old MPC kits, monogram kits, and then I post a lot of pictures of built models from shows I've been to. Pictures of cars I see online, on Facebook, anything that I think is nice, I post there. It's a good thing to watch. And like these guys have said, listen to the Insanity guys. They're a lot of fun. You'll learn more than you think you will.
Absolutely.
Even though if you're a car builder, you still learn quite a bit. And don't forget about the Scale Model podcast, the one that Jason's on. I love those guys as well. There's always a ton of information there, and they're a good listen. And that's it. And hey, Rob, thanks for popping in. It was good to finally put a voice with the face.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, I feel bad I came in, and Mike is he's a little. I think he's a little annoyed that we hijacked the
Nah, it's all about entertaining the folks. Everybody seems to have fun.
It's all in fun.
It's absolutely right. It's all in fun.
It's been about a month. When was the last time I jumped in? It was like about a couple months ago.
It was Justin had a scout meeting or something, and we had no idea that you were coming. Justin shared the link with you, and when I'm like, it's coming in as Justin. He says he's got a scout, so we clicked on it, and it was you.
Yeah, I Justin right on there.
So that was a good one. You're always welcome, Rob, but we'll get to you in just a second.
I don't like to listen. You guys got to do your own thing too. I don't want to always impose. We got a lot going on as it is, and my voice is everywhere, so everybody gets to know.
Mine as well. How about you, Frankie? What you got going on? What you got for us?
I am Frank's Model Works everywhere, including your dreams.
Oh, look at that. You hear that voice?
If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. So keep the shades up, the drawers down.
that was creepy.
Yeah, 100%.
A bottle of paint just fell down like it's a ghost.
Yeah, Rob's dad's like, shut up.
Shut up.
I'll tell you, it's Frank Sigmund Freud Steffens over here for Hallmark cards.
What about you, Rob Riv? I know you got a lot going on. What do you want to share with us? How did everybody find you? All that good stuff.
Well, my Facebook, I have Rob Riviezo is my personal Facebook page. Rob Riv's Modeling Insanity, my modeling page. You can also see my work in Military Model Craft International magazine. You can also see my builds and Justin possibly if he ever gets fucking something done on the Modeling Insanity TV YouTube channel. We are going to start doing bi-weekly. We'll see how it goes. We're going to start off bi-weekly live casts on the channel doing this type of thing. Not a build room, but doing like interviews and talks with modelers. Maybe Frank, you come on. You know what, Frank? We're going to have you on before Mike Outlaw. You'll get
I don't
that.
doubt it, not one bit. he's more entertaining than I am.
It's the smart choice.
It is the smart.
Yeah,
choice.
You're not
we'll
going
get
to
Tim
get a
on. We're gonna have a
stupid
good
looking hat
time.
out of me.
And
you kind of skimmed over something, Rob, that I want to blow your horn a little bit for you. And don't even, Justin, Frank, don't even. You said you said something about the magazine that they can find you in. I think you are being a little bit modest there. That military magazine. You're what, the main editor for the U.S.
Well, no, I'm not the
magazine?
main editor. I'm the U.S. So I'm the U.S. editor of the magazine. The managing editor, Dave Brummett over in. No, he's the managing editor over in England, but I do the U.S. side of the magazine. So I every month and help run the magazine thing. So yes, we got that going on too.
That is very cool, and there's nothing to that you don't want to be skimming over that. It's something. I'm sure you are very proud of it, but
No, it's great. And also, and it also what's great is the magazine also there's a lot of promotion for the in podcast there because a lot of my builds that are in the magazine you can QR code it to builds in the YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. And they did most of the podcast. So again, it's just all about promoting the hobby. Again, Modeling Insanity podcast. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, and all. And also the Quarter Scale Madness podcast. And who knows, maybe we'll have a car podcast eventually. We'll see what happens.
you never know what happens. All right, guys. Well, we want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. It was a different show today. We definitely appreciate having Rob Rev in. We always get our laughs. My face hurts.
Is he spraying paint in his living room?
I think so. I saw that too.
No one's home.
I was going to
No
ignore
one's
it, but I saw it too. He's got his Krylon out. He's having at it. But
Like Krylonium.
Were you the one just spraying when I was talking?
Yeah.
You inconsiderate bastard. I didn't spray when you were talking.
I didn't know that shit gets picked up.
all right, guys. Again, thanks to the chat for chiming in. It was rolling really good tonight. Thank you guys for showing up. Rob, always appreciate the laughs. Definitely go check out all the Insanity podcast stuff. Go check out Frank. And you can find me at the Scale Model Outlaw. You can also find me here on Sundays from 4 to 6. And the Thursday show. I'll be on the Thursday show, the AMC Livecast. And you can see me there. We go on, I believe, at 8 o'clock in the evening. And till next time, guys, y'all be safe. Keep on modeling. Be kind to each other. And we'll see you on the next one. We're out.
Thanks,
brush your hair.
There's that big old thumbs up. See y'all.
Take care. Brush your hair.
That's it.
Dude, I'm sorry I hijacked your fucking build.